And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you back to Chandler, Arizona in Bowlero, Kyrene. It is the trilogy. It's almost like the Matrix. It's the Agent Ong Open, the trilogy. Next, we might have a Revolutions. We'll see what else Carl may have in store for future variations of this wonderful tournament. Emil Williams Jr. Roto Schlemer is back.
Yo, 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 what it is.
Chris Schlemer in the building, as well as the founder. And although he never says he's the tournament director, but he is the founder of this tournament.
He is the founding father, yes.
Carl Ong is joining us as well this morning.
Father Ong is here, yes.
First of all, good morning, gentlemen. Nice to be back. Great to be back.
Absolutely.
Here in Chandler. Phoenix is always turned into a phenomenal place for me. It feels like a second home. And obviously, Carl, this is your third year. The element of this event is now in its entirety. You've seen it through the whole time, Carl. So now we're at number 3. Congratulations. What are we expecting here today?
Today or the weekend?
No, today. Both?
Yes, D, all the above.
Both.
Today we're going to be busy. I think we have, I don't know the exact count off the top of my head yet, but
we got a pretty solid number here this morning, bro.
We have a pretty good starting for our 9 a.m. Thursday.
Absolutely.
So, 3 to a pair, looks like. But yeah, no, I'm just excited to have both of you back. I missed you guys last year. Both of you weren't here. And just super excited to have you guys back. So welcome back to Phoenix, and we couldn't be more happy to have you guys.
I know it's not quite strange for me anymore because I feel like I'm here so much, right? Like, then the more you're someplace, the more relationships that you build, and I've been able to do that. Nice to have Big Schlim with us. I had a rough travel day yesterday, and then Schlim's giving me trouble for missing lunch and all this other stuff. But it was just like, I miss my guy.
Hey, Carl's like, oh yeah, I had to plan my flight and everything out here because of your schedule. And then all of a sudden, Carl's like, hey, are you flying? Because it's me and you for lunch. Because Emil's taking time off, and he's gonna get there whenever he gets there.
That's basically
how it went.
My goal is to get here prior to 11 p.m.
Let's tell how it is, right? You're like, I can't control the powers of air travel, but yeah, no, we're just happy you're here, bro. And this is it's gonna be a fun weekend.
It's gonna be a fun weekend as we tell you what's happening in front of you. We've got Matt Zweig, one of the key players, of course, starting off this squad. As Schlim just talked about, walked into the building, start seeing some folks kind of trickle in. I see Brett's here. I knew Matt was going to bowl. Brett said he was going to bowl in the morning. I see GT2 walking into the building, Keith Dahmer and so many others, Wesley Lowe's bowling, and I'm like, oh man, we can't ease into the first squad here. We got to come out firing.
Chad Lush, it's the deal, exactly it, right? Like as Carl, you mentioned, bro, you got 3 in a pair. I can remember, granted, like I said, I wasn't here last year due to some health medical stuff, but we got 1, 2, 10. Got 10 pair going with 3, so you got 30 people.
Yep.
That's pretty solid to kickstart, day 1, squad 1, right?
And it's only going to continue to get bigger and bigger as the squads go on. So.
Yeah. And I think the big thing, too, is, as you and I have talked about, Carl, is the fact that you've got more of the local people here this morning, right? And, obviously Kyle Troop's here, right? Kyle's here hanging out. He's going to bowl some squads each day, right? And the out-of-town people aren't here yet. So, yeah, you get the locals thinking, man, I'm going to try and sneak in and get the crack at this first squad and see how we get rolling, right? And, yeah, this is awesome to see. And, it's largely in part to your dedication and your efforts in making this what it is.
And I appreciate the kind words, but it takes a village. I can't thank my family enough. You and Emil and Theo with Complete Bowling Events, and obviously all our sponsors, right? I'm blessed to be able to have this tournament grow the way it has, and but like I said, I can't take full credit for that. I mean, it's guys like you and Emil that make this tournament look good to the outside world.
Well, it's not even that. It's like you and I have talked, and we talked at lunch yesterday, right? It's a thing of if you're a bowler and you're looking, there aren't many events in the country where you can bowl for 10 grand on top, period. And the fact that we have such a, and we're going to talk about, and we'll see throughout the weekend, right? You have a mixed level of skill set, and that was something we talked about from the get-go. Because again, there's no reason you can't have every level of player competing in the same environment, right? On the same stage. And this solidifies that, and I think this is a step towards bigger things, right? Because we know people want to bowl. Like, that's a thing, right? Like, so this is again, it's very. Ooh, I like the beachscape with the Agent Ong Open. That's
that
awesome.
was by accident.
No,
the sponsors are supposed to be up there.
Yeah,
and
the sponsors all went to the beach. It's fine.
Yeah,
I get it.
So I'm going to have to look for Mr. JJ.
Hola, Mr. JJ. Senor JJ. Yeah, we got a little beach scene going on with the masking units right now, as y'all watching at home. As we're watching the players try to attack the. And I think this is the other part too, Carl, we wanted to touch on while we got you, is the pattern. The fact that this is the third installment of this event, and this is the third different pattern. It's not like you're using the same pattern every time. And what are you grinning ear to ear over here? He's like, oh, yeah, the pattern. Huh. Let me talk about that. Tell us about it.
That's a great segue.
Yeah, tell us how you got to
that.
this, where we're at right now with this pattern.
So I will say it like this. I don't, we work together between, we work together with John Conaway, which is the head mechanic here at Bowlero Kyrene.
Yep.
And we kind of put our heads together, and we take into account topography and pair to pair of what happens in this building. So it's a crapshoot, completely honest with you, because if you bowl or look at this at all or know about the pattern, you're not allowed to bowl. Your eligibility is gone.
Yeah.
So because of that, I have no one to run this pattern with. And, obviously I throw on it. Conaway throws on it. But
I mean,
we're not going to throw a million games on this
that's
thing.
Definitely a solid level of integrity in that regard, right? And I think the bowlers appreciate that. I think the other part of it too is, you talked about the topography, but I think it also gets into lane surface friction, and that just comes with, and I've been saying this for years, right? It's one of the variables in the environment of bowling. The head panels get beat up. They age every day like we do, and they get beat up daily. Bowling balls hit them hard every single day, and so that's where surface friction shows up. Not to mention the topography, the undulations and the divots and all the other stuff. And then you factor in the type of oil too, right? Like you're using the Bowlero or the Lucky Strike Red. So there's all these variables that have to plug in to piece this together, and the fact going with a 35-foot pattern on a surface that we know hooks a lot, that's a commonality, that's a common play, to make it better, force players to play straighter out to start and let it transition, right? Because the thing with this much friction, if you build a longer pattern, and you did that, I think, the first year, right? I wasn't here last year, but
first 2 years was longer.
High rev guys were already sliding into the gutter cap in game 2, right? Like it just. So you have to kind of pick your poison. I think this is a great. It's going to be a great test. I'm excited to see how this shakes out, right? Like I see a lot of people. We're halfway through game 1, and I see a lot of head scratching going on.
That's a sign of a good pattern.
That's a sign of a good pattern, right? And that means it's fair.
So, for example, when we were doing Sweep the Rack last night during the dinner, I was posed this question immediately, was the pattern, because everyone has this prediction, and what got brought up with those guys was, is urethane in play, especially now with the shorter pattern? And then my answer was, what pattern do I put out that isn't going to be urethane in your hand to start?
Correct. Well, and then And here's the, and again, not to cut you off, Ro, it opens up a whole nother can of worms, right? Because then it gets into you don't have to allow it at your event either.
Sure.
You know, and the USBC's made their rules, and the changes have happened. The NCAA's come out and been vocal, and the NCAA just banned it altogether. And each tournament group is going to evaluate what is the best, right? And you're being gracious enough to still allow them to throw urethane. Of course, urethane doesn't matter your skill level or your style of player. Urethane helps transition, period. And that's something that we've seen for a while now. It's crazy that it came back to this, right? Because I'm old enough to remember when we didn't have reactive resin yet. Back in my pro shop days, when I can remember my first couple balls were hand-me-downs I got from a guy who was left-handed that my dad knew. I got a yellow dot and a U dot, right? Like, because reactive wasn't a thing quite yet. And so, but fast forward to 2025, and we've got urethane balls. Yeah, they are what they are, right? And you're going to have guys and girls, because we got some females playing this morning too, right? Like, urethane it transitions the lane differently. But again, I don't see, there's nobody off shooting 270 yet. So it's going to take time for the pattern to transition. You're always going to have a winner. You're always going to have a loser.
Sure.
Urethane's always going to be in play, assuming you allow it, which you are. And yeah, I don't think you can't steer clear of the urethane thing. And you're right, you can't shut it out.
I mean, the only thing I can say, like I said, no matter what pattern I put out there, it's going to be used until it's not, right? Correct. I mean, and there might be a false sense of security. You might be able to use it all 6 games. Who knows? You might shoot 220 game 1, and then you follow it with $140 game 2. Then was the right ball in your hand, or did you just get through game 1 with a false sense?
And I think that's going to be with it being a short pattern, and like we talked about, the amount of surface friction and the topography I think that's the equalizer, right? Like, as we're watching Matt Zweig here, just cross over. Like, he's trying to throw urethane up from out, and he's trying to help it up the hill. Now he goes to the next pair. He might have hold there, or it might hook more.
Right.
And I think that is going to be a commonality based on just looking at this lane surface. Like, and again, I'm old, and I used to tour rep and those things. And my thing is, like, when you look across the panels across this house, right? Certain lanes, you can see bigger dips and humps from out where you're forced to play. So that's going to factor into your ball reaction. And at the end of the day, honestly, bro, I think this is going to turn into not a mega grind, but it's going to be a grind. Like, you got to throw quality shots, and you got to, who can adjust the fastest is going to be the one that has the upper hand. And I think it's going to prove and separate those who really know what their bowling ball does.
Right.
Emil Williams Jr., Roto Schlemer, Chris Schlemer from Roto Grip, Carl Ong, the founder of this wonderful tournament, as we get near the end of Game 1. This is Game 1, Squad 1, ladies and gentlemen. And as Chris just talked about, don't see a lot of players certainly on the 270 pace, but there are some players on the 230 pace, which at this tournament, if you can shoot 220, 230, that's normally a very, very good score.
Because there were some people that I thought were on that pace too, and then all of a sudden I look back at their score and they go open. So
to kind of that point you just talked about, where it is, frame to frame, especially Game 1. One thing I want to add about your conversation, as you see Zweig get the 10 out, first squads are always the big question mark to me, in my opinion, as someone who watches tournaments from this role.
Yep.
Because you don't typically know, or maybe you do know, right, who's bowling, who's not. In this area, you generally get some good players to want to bowl the first squad, so they can kind of see what's really out there, and then kind of make necessary adjustments, ball choices, equipment, as the weekend goes on, and they'll bowl more. When you get to Saturday night, when you anticipate the place to be packed, maybe some people bowling for the first time, but probably at least their second time. And then you start to see the trueness, obviously, of the pattern, right? Because it'll have been laid down multiple times over at that point.
I was just thinking that as soon as you started talking about that, Emil, it was the deal of this is the first time the pattern's seen the lane surface in competition.
That's correct.
As we strip and re-oil, the rest of the house memory is going to get cleaned
Faded.
off,
Yep.
faded away, because we're not doing, it's one of those things. I don't know if you did like a quadruple strip this morning.
So we
probably
stripped,
not.
When Emil and I were here setting up, they did strip.
Yep.
And then they stripped and re-oiled again today.
Yeah.
So we're trying to give this as
it's
close
close.
of
Yeah.
a fresh, without as much memory as possible.
Yep.
And then, but later today, and then we're going to run it again in the sweeper.
Yep.
I mean, by this time this afternoon, I mean, any semblance of whatever was out here prior should be pretty much gone, other than topography.
And for those watching at home and tuning in, I think that's one thing we want to talk about in terms of memory. For those of you who don't know what that is, right? When you take memory, what we refer to in the world of bowling with memory is when a lane pattern, like your house pattern, gets applied every day and night, the same length, the same volume, the same way. It develops into a kind of a film or a build-up, if you will. When we take patterns like this, which is built for this tournament, completely different than a house pattern. It takes time to get all of that residue, all of that buildup peeled off the lane to where then you see the true, actual integrity of the pattern or the formation of this pattern into play, right? And it's, like I said, it's one of those things that, there's all these variables, there's all these weird intricacies of bowling. And when people ask me questions, right, and I start hitting them with variables, and their eyes get really big, and I can see the what is he talking about thing going. And it's because we don't, not everybody understands or knows that, right? I think that's the big thing. So, but yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, Emil. Like I said, the getting the house memory, obviously you stripped last night, you stripped this morning. That's already way ahead of what some tournaments do. Sometimes they don't even do that, right? So it's one of those things where you got a little extra buildup in the fronts, and if a pattern's flatter and all of a sudden there's a shim there, and what I mean by that is there's a little bit extra volume that wouldn't normally be there based on what the true pattern is. So, this is the first crack at this pattern, and I think, this afternoon it'll be more of a true vibe and feel of what's going on with this pattern.
Right.
Well, Zweig has figured something out, as he always does. I think that's one of his superpowers.
Don't forget there's a crossover in there. He
We'll
parlayed it.
Well, he parlayed it. I was just
He
gonna
parlayed
say.
it.
And that's what you got to do.
Oh, absolutely.
Mama Zweig is watching. And hello to all of the good folks watching this morning. A very nice crowd to open up this tournament. Already about or close to 200 viewers watching this morning.
That's what's up. I like it.
So while you're here, hit the thumbs up if you have not.
Shim to win. See? By the way, in case anybody was wondering, the cloud is here.
Welcome back, Emil.
He's got a great game
back.
going, lane 9, and done.
That is
through
correct.
the face, 4-6-7.
That is correct.
By the way, I'm thinking you might be off the Christmas card list with that.
I've been watching young Jonathan Orozco here. He was just on lane 10. He looks familiar. I've seen him somewhere before. Also saw next door. He's just off camera. I believe that's Dylan Donahue.
Yep.
I think I saw him recently at the Oasis Invitational in El Paso. We've got both of the champions in previous years. There's been 2 tournaments, 2 champions, and they're both bowling squad 1. Matt Zweig, of course, in front of us, and Kyle Ponzo is down in the 20s. I think he's on 21 and 22, finishing up. He'll either be going left or right. Right lane goes left.
No.
I'm sorry, right lane moves right. They skip 2 pair. Left lane moves left, skipping 2 pair. And so throughout the squad, of course, you should see your favorite players. We've got upwards of 5 through 16 covered. We'll have 9 through 16 on the screen very often, vice versa, then flip down to 5 through 8 and tell you what's going on down there.
What about 1 and 2? Can we get a camera down on 1 and 2?
Well,
that's where I'm going to be reporting from later
correct.
today.
We've already got a plan for you next year.
In the pit of lane 1 that's turned off, and I'll just hide back there.
There you go. Well, I'm going to bow out. I got to go do some logistics, I guess you should say.
Logistics. Well, it's okay.
That's
because
a big word.
Carl's seat will be filled for game number 2 because Kyle Troop will join us for game 2. He's here early. He's going to be bowling, I believe, this afternoon squad.
Yep.
He's involved in a big action match tomorrow night. We'll talk about that with Kyle, and then we'll talk with Carl throughout the day and, of course, the rest of the weekend. Carl, we appreciate you as always, and congrats on the official now start of the trilogy here at the Agent Ong Open.
Again, appreciate you guys being out here. Again, you guys make me look good. I appreciate that. But no, thank you to all the bowlers out here. This is a great start to a very long weekend, especially for you two.
It's fun.
Hey, do you like the cushions?
Cushions
though?
are fantastic.
That's why we're standing, right?
That's why we're
just
standing.
kidding.
No, but
You know,
I
the
just,
cushions,
I thought ahead. You know, I wanted to.
And we appreciate you
My
for that,
posture
right?
already felt better.
Yeah, he's a giddy. I don't know why we're doing the opening game standing up, but
I don't know.
I think it just helps the longevity of it,
And
right?
honestly, I don't like standing next to you guys because I'm about 2 feet shorter than both of you.
okay.
So can we next
there
time
we
we
go.
sit down so I don't look ridiculous next to you guys?
Okay.
Thank you.
That's fine.
Giants.
Yeah. All right. Little people. That's fine.
All right, that's Carl. We'll watch Matthew finish things out here. Left side of your screen. Had a good convo with him last night about what he was thinking. Mama Zwag, you would appreciate that.
Oh, there you go. Pretty good pitch. Gets him into the depending on the count, gets him into the 220 like you were talking. I do see a 210 game over there on 5 and 6. Yeah, well, you can talk, Kyle. You got a headphone on.
Well, we didn't formally
okay. Well,
bring him in.
Do the formal.
See, he's TV trained.
Oh, yeah. I'm not. I'm a rabid free-range chicken.
With that said, we welcome in Kyle Troop.
How's it going, guys?
I'm doing well, sir. How are you?
Doing well. What I was telling Schlem was, that's definitely the high game in the building from Matt Zweig.
Oh,
221.
yeah, there we go. 221.
I think I've seen 3 200 games.
You got
a 220
possible
possible
220
there.
there.
Yeah.
And that's what we were talking about with transition and this pattern. Again, this is the third installment. This is your first time here, but this is the third installment of the event and third different pattern. And Carl explained to us that with the help of the head mechanic here, just figuring out because of the friction and the topography, this pattern's a little on the short side, right? And that was the idea. So we'll see how it all shakes out.
Hey, I like it.
Squad 1, day 1, right? Like I think you respect the grind, right? Like it's one of those things that, and I think that's, and we've had these conversations. Carl and I have been friends for a long time, and back when we were talking about this stuff, it was always a deal of, I said, man, you don't want to make it a score fest because then people already get an inclination of, I can't strike enough. But you also, I said, you don't want to make them impossible because then people go, well, I can't grind it out like that. But if you find that kind of happy medium, and I think with it being shorter, and you saw some head scratching going today, I think there's people that are now they're looking back going, I'm going to play it differently when I bowl the next squad kind of thing.
Yeah, especially on the short pattern, obviously, urethane's an option, but then having multiple squads, it could be even a thing where, all right, maybe I threw the wrong urethane ball. Like maybe I threw the red ball instead of maybe trying the pitch black or something like that. And then obviously, I feel like there's lots of options.
And I think there's a lot of people, too, that gets into understanding that they can get away with maybe, and this goes back to the old school mentality before we had urethane. That was a 220 game?
Yep, 220 from the King, Brett Wolf.
Yep, grinding it out.
Took down the Oasis Invitational for 6K 3 weeks ago.
Oh, wow, okay.
Very nice.
Yeah, very cool. Gets into using bigger balls with more flair to blend the friction out as well,
I've
right?
already seen a few guys doing that off the bat. I think Chad Lush kind of was starting with a max, and I think he's kind of struggling a little bit this game, but it did look good in practice.
Yeah, I mean, so it's and it's gonna, like I said, with just all you see is numbers. You see the, we had the 35 foot, and it's
33 mils.
33 mils,
like
right? Like you're like, okay, kind of know where I'm supposed to go, but again, Kyle, as you know, traveling bowling around the world. When you look at a lane surface like this and you look at topography and
how far out on the lane until the oil starts, it actually looks shorter than most Bowlero centers.
Exactly, right? And there's all these other variables, and you're like, okay, well, lane to lane, not to mention pair to pair, is going to be an adventure. So you kind of have to have, the quick judgment of, this pair's doing this, I need to go to these couple balls. And you go to the next pair, like, can I stay with those or have to go to this, switch back to this other set? And I think that's going to be it's going to be those that can whittle their arsenal down into those couple deals. I think are going to be the ones that we see come Sunday, late in the day.
Yep. Yeah, I will say they're definitely tight for 35 feet. I mean, obviously it's a high volume. I forget which oil they use here.
Red.
That's a new one, right?
Lucky Strike Red.
Okay. We bowled in Bowlero Center last week for the Nightmare Doubles, and they ran some other new.
The blue.
Are they going back to just colors again?
So Bowlero has two colors. They have red or blue. So the Lucky Strike oils, right? So
I think we bowled on blue, and they said it's kind of like ice or whatnot. I mean, they were tight as all get out last week. So
yeah. So from what we've heard, just from field reports and people I've talked to that are in bowler or something stuff like that, the red for some people is feeling more like the older Prodigy oil from back in the day. So it's not like, in terms of fire, you would think, or with red, you would think fire. It doesn't. I guess it's not going away as fast as fire, but it also it stretches a little bit. It doesn't super carry down, and it doesn't blow apart, kind of thing, right? So it's kind of and I know that sounds crazy when we talk about oils, but in the world of oil, that's a whole other segment we could talk about for another, I don't know, if you guys got an extra 6 months, we could talk to the guys from Kegel and guys and girls there, and they would blow your mind.
Yeah, just say the word viscosity, and then that's a whole nother stream.
And again, I've mentioned this a couple times, because I'm old, right? I can remember back in the day, there was only a handful of oils. Like, that's what was available to the entire country. And now,
50 or 60 at least?
More recently, yeah, I think it's in the mid-50s, and the number of types of oils can be purchased and applied to the lanes in your bowling center. So
it makes them so much different.
Yeah.
Just a different oil can change the shot completely.
Absolutely. And then you factor in the type of machine and a machine speed and all the other variables that plug into it, right? And again, it's something I mentioned early on. You start talking that kind of stuff, and people just look at you and you're like, I had no idea that it was even a possibility. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I've seen it countless times.
And that's something I guess we could talk for some of the viewers or people listening in is, people ask me all the time, like, what does your practice look like? And, obviously this week, we only see 35 feet, 33 mils, but if there's other tournaments where the pattern's posted, all these things that we just talked about, that's why I never try and practice on the pattern at home. Like, oh, yeah, I got the pattern put out. I've been bowling on it for a month. Yeah, but all these things that we just said, it's irrelevant then.
You can't replicate the environment, right? And
Correct.
I've seen that too many times over the course of time, honestly, in my time in the industry. People are like, oh, yeah, we've got the pattern and we ran it. And then my question is, well, you guys have the same lane machine? And then they go, well, I don't know. Is it the same kind of oil? Well, I don't know. Is it the same age of lane surface? Let alone the same brand of lane surface is the same age of lane surface, because you have to add all these variables, and then they go, well, I didn't think about that.
Yeah, so I just try and make shots and work on my game when I practice. Never really, I did bowl. I think they put out Wolf, which obviously now seeing this, that was probably way too much hook.
Exactly.
I was wheeling that thing. So,
yeah.
But I put that more because I drilled a couple of new urethane, a fast pitch and a pitch black for the week, and got a red ball. So I never throw the black or blue anymore. So I needed to kind of learn what the difference is between the IQ 78.
And that's something, and Carl mentioned it, right? And, he mentioned the fact of the urethane being a thing. And I go, then it comes back to what levels are you abiding by the USBC stuff? I said, you this is your tournament. You could totally ban urethane, like the NCAA just did, right? Like in college bowling. So, but having that option, and again, what does it do on certain things? And like you mentioned, fast pitch, pitch black, red ball, 78U. You got 3 different cores,
three different
materials.
They all see the lane in a different part.
Yeah.
So, I liked it, though. My practice definitely felt good this week.
Yeah.
Definitely seeing a use for each of them and kind of when to use what. But, yeah, just kind of comparing the condition I bowled on to this, not even close. So, more just getting an idea or a feel.
Kyle, the question for you from my vantage point, obviously this is now the 3rd iteration of this event for Carl. I'm curious kind of what sparked your interest or intrigue in wanting to see what this event certainly was about and making the trip. And I know you've been busy. You've had a wedding. You've been in Sweden in the last couple of months. So, what made this one intriguing for you to come out and give it a run?
Yeah, so honestly, I've heard a lot about the Agent Ong Open. I've seen Facebook posts throughout the years. Seen it was a big paying tournament as well. So, it was I don't want to say it was on the calendar those first couple of years, but I knew it was definitely something that was gaining traction. And I was actually out in Vegas for the Equinox shoot and ran into Carl, and we started just kind of chatting a little bit, gambling a little bit in the casino, and
is that what you do there? Is that what those things are?
Well, so far here they pay us to be there. So,
Casinos.
In the Cas.
You play the gambling, huh?
Oh yeah, lots of it. But so we got to chatting. I was just asking some questions about the tournament, and I was like, I think I'm gonna try and come out. And obviously I told I'll help you out. Do some videos, promote it a little bit, try and get some more people out here. And I heard somebody already say this is a pretty good turnout for the first squad. Of 7. Yeah,
Absolutely.
Thursday at 9 a.m. Like, okay, some people may have to work, but yeah, what are we looking at here? Like 30,
we got 30 people.
30 people. That's solid. Yeah.
Yep. And, I think, too, Kyle, it's one of those things that we talked about in the fact that I mentioned earlier with Carl when he was on, the fact that even for you being a touring player, right, like you guys' season is shorter. Man, what tournament can you bowl for 10K on top?
Yeah, that's the other thing. Like, this is one of the bigger paying events throughout the country, I would say, on the amateur side.
Yeah.
And people say, I'm a touring player and whatnot. And I was like, well, I bowl for a living, so I'll go wherever the money's at. It don't got to be PBA. It don't have to be nothing.
And for those people that question and they complain about that, all we can say is, hey, look at the wall of banner winners. There is not a national title holder that has won yet.
I say Matt Zweig bowls a little bit on tour.
Bowls a little bit on tour, but he doesn't have a national title yet, right?
No.
And Simon made that first show, but he didn't win, right? Like I remember Keplinger, and some guys that bowl on tour.
I think Cortez made the first show as well.
Yep. And again, you're not talking like you, like I said. And Simon's going to be here later in the week. I believe we've confirmed
and I think,
that, right?
with the format, I think does maybe lead to that possibility
Absolutely.
of the touring players can't just run away with the bracket
Correct.
format, which and I'm cool with the bracket. Like there is a bye, top 8. That's pretty crucial when you're cutting to 24, like you're down to 16.
And for the big picture, I think bigger than what this is, right? And this is something that when this all started, when Carl was reaching out to me and Robert Smith with this idea, right? It's the deal of you want to open up to all skill levels. Hence the reason why we have the pins for the girls and the lower average, right? Because my example I gave was Liz Johnson when you go to Europe. I said she's the goat of all females. I said, but she gets pins. She doesn't run away and win every time she goes to bowl there, right? You make it a more even playing environment.
I say honestly, the women have only won a few events with their handicap.
Getting 7 pins.
DMAC in Thailand was the one instance
exactly.
I can think of.
But then, so you take that, coupled with this type of format, the 7 squads, whatever, then you've got sweepers, right? We've got 2 sweepers tonight. You've got 2 sweepers tomorrow. I know that first year, again, I wasn't here last year for health reasons, but the first year, Darren D-Tang won one of the sweepers from a second. Like, he made more money than the sweepers, and he's like,
I think he missed the cut.
He goes, yeah, dude, it was a great week. I'm like, oh, okay. But as long as you have ways to make money,
there's 5 tournaments, really.
Plus you have
4 2-game sweepers.
By the way, there's brackets, sides, all the other stuff.
Super Pot Game 6.
And
just wait, there's more.
Some of us, only 2 people have an additional opportunity to make more money, and Kyle is one of those people because he's in an action match tomorrow night versus Phoenix legend Matt Jones.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so we got that too. We got the gamble going tomorrow night.
We got a little action.
We need to make a little more money in the casino before then.
All right.
Be nice to free roll into that. But
right. Hey, never say never. Stranger things have happened. But yeah, that's the big thing. Like, all ways to make money, right? Like, that's
there's a lot of ways. The way he runs his brackets: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's no carryover game, and then he throws a set of reverse in there on 3, 4, 5. I love that. Just something different, or 5, 4, 3, I guess.
Yep.
But Super Pot Game 6. I think all scratch tournaments should run a $10 last game, high game.
Absolutely.
I hate seeing tournaments that don't have that.
Yeah.
10 or 20. Like, come on. We're already paying $100 to bowl or whatever. Like, I won one at the Nightmare last week. $10 for $260.
Yeah.
Covered the side action for the squad because I lost in brackets.
And that's all part of the variables, and that's we'll call it quantifiable or simple math, right? Like oh yeah, threw the extra $10 in, $260, covered all my action for that. We're like, oh, all right, that makes you feel better.
And now you can go bowl another squad since you didn't lose anything. And,
exactly. It all just kind of goes, right?
No, but I'm looking forward to the week. Obviously, we had a great meal. Good time last night to start the week out. We are staying at the Wild Horse Pass, so that is a very nice place. lots of good restaurants and, those gamble machines. But
Is that what those things are?
Yeah.
Okay.
Couple of quick updates. For Kyle, a lot of congratulations for you, Kyle, on your recent nuptials.
Thank you. Thank you to the chat.
And we do have scores officially after game 1. And Matt Zweig was the highest game in the building at 221.
Yeah. Sorry, we're doing
guys, we're doing
selfies in the booth. Heck yeah.
Brett Wolf 220. Justin Flora from Ventura, California 210. Kyler Adams shot 206. Justin O'Donnell 204. There were 5 scores above par, if you will, with Greg Thompson Jr. at 196, Wesley Lowe 189. Defending champion Kyle Ponzo, who is now on 9 and 10, also Chad Lucy as well. Kyle shot 183, a couple of 170 games, and then, of course, a little bit of a smorgasbord, as you might imagine. Game 1, squad 1. Maybe a little bit of nerves, obviously in a very difficult lane condition, and all of those things that we've been talking about. When you took a look at game 1 as it was happening, Kyle, then, and you touched on it a little bit, what kind of started to churn in your mind, and you kind of touched on like some of the equipment that you had, changing up maybe the philosophy just through 5 frames in, like, I might not be able to do what I thought I might be able to do.
Yeah, I mean, I still think, obviously I love urethane. I use it a lot, and I do know that I'm not very good at getting into resin quite early on 35 feet. And so I still think I'll be able to use the Thanes. Obviously, who knows which one, when we get on the lanes, we can make that decision. But they're definitely tight. So I was actually excited to see that. It doesn't just wheel. I mean, I watched several gutter balls. So I do feel like speed control could have a play being on this condition. So I love that if I got to throw the urethane a little bit softer. So I am excited about what I see. They do look flat. I mean, they look pretty hard. I am interested to see how the lanes transition if there becomes that little hold around 10 or so, like 7, 8, 9. If, there's a consistent hold developed from all of this thing the first couple games. But at 1.3 to 1 and being just a mixed field of competitors, I don't think we're going to see consistent transition from pair to pair, probably no matter what you're throwing. So, I mean, so far it feels like the 1.3 to 1 kind of looks like it's out there. And I'm excited because I wanted them hard. I'm kind of getting back on my game the last few weeks, drilled a bunch of balls, my access point changed. I guess it had been changed for a while. I just didn't know it. And
by the way, you're hearing that correct, folks. Even professionals
That's a great
sometimes
point.
need to check their PAP when it gets into ball motion. And not with you, bro, but I've had this conversation with a lot of other staffers here recently. Like, hey, when was the last time you checked your PAP? And they go, dude, I don't know.
Oh, I'll be doing it every 3 months now.
Yeah, we
I
have
didn't
to,
check
right?
it probably all year. And it was almost an inch different further down. So the ball that I was using at the time when I was practicing was 6 1/4 from my axis. So
Yep.
then I was like, well, that makes sense. I feel like I've had to hit the heck out of it no matter what I'm bowling on, and my ball never slows down. So, yeah, check your PAP, folks. But, yeah, I mean, I like what I'm seeing out here for the conditions. The harder, the better. Make spares important. And one thing just to throw out there with the Agenong Open, $10,000 event, you never see 35 feet for a 10K event because, it's always like we don't want the urethane to run it, like I guess Ponzo won throwing Purple Hammer last year on 45 feet, but then just to go the complete opposite and just give it to them, and be like, all right, bring them all. Like, let's see what you got. Because honestly, it's probably going to be harder to use urethane on this than it was maybe on the longer pattern last year, like, just because of the transition. And I can't think of a 10K or maybe even a 5K event that went this short on the pattern condition.
As we watch Ponzo, and
I mean, you see it just misses it a little.
I was just going to say, he's had some issues with the 2-pin combos, 2-8s, now a washout, where he might have seen some hook in the past, right? And you talked about how tight they are, especially getting away from it.
Right. He's pretty far left, too.
There's one item I always think about. You just talked about it, like the variances with regard to urethane. Like I think people still associate short patterns with urethane, and generally speaking, you probably can certainly throw it. Would you throw it the entire time of the tournament?
No, maybe not.
Right. Yeah. But it's not always the solution as well. Sometimes it certainly is, and most of the time probably is. But there are some I feel like some details sometimes that we as the general bowling population, right, may miss, and that's kind of what separates maybe players like us to those of your caliber who then get into the minutia, if you will, on
that's a big word. Minutia. Today's word of the day, folks.
Minutia.
Minutia. Speaking of minutia, Russell over here, 191.
Just a minutia minus on that game.
Yeah.
Well, Kyler got that one back. I wanted to quickly get back to Brandon Matthews here on your screen, left side on 13 and 14. He's got another opportunity to get into the 220s. He's been solid off the gutter.
That's pretty good.
He's just been playing out there. He doesn't have a lot of forward roll. He's kind of got that inverted roll. So I think, like, for instance, like for this guy, like I think that roll kind of allows him to just, because he's kind of tricking the lane. Ain't nobody doing that.
Right.
I mean, he's just playing right up 1, 2, 3. Had a turkey. I mean, he's got turkey spare strike the last 5 frames.
See a 5-bagger over
See a
there.
5-bagger, yeah.
Just next door.
Wow.
That's where as I like to say, like the player intangibles, right? The things that really separate players across the board, right? And I like to compare bowling to other sports. And so, if we're talking about basketball, IQ, handles, 3-point shooting, like the intangibles that make the player, and ball roll is one of those things for everybody.
Yeah, that's actually, you just mentioned that. It just dinged in my head. To describe bowlers as like a 5-tool player or a 3-tool player, right? Like they talk about in the NFL and stuff like that. So, yeah, that's good. Good one. I like that.
Yeah, I mean, see, that line there could be consistent pair to pair because you can't move much further right. So as long as it kind of hits the pocket, keeps it in play. Yep. Like, I mean, obviously it's a little early to be guessing scores and who knows how many entries total we're going to have and final spots ended up with. But
correct.
I mean, 60 overs got to be okay. I mean, if you can average 210, I would think you're at least getting to
I would take my chances with it.
Because there's a cashers round on Sunday, right? And then we cut the bracket? Okay. Yeah, so, I mean, 210, I think, doesn't hurt you. And I think 210 across the board would make you some money in the gamble.
I like
That's our other word for the day. The gamble.
Minutia and the gamble. Love it. Love it.
Nice game by Brandon. Again, you'll take that every time. Let's see what Brandon had. And then, unfortunately, next door, the Channel Dweller.
Ooh, yeah, it was 5-bagger into the 10th, went gutter 6.
Oh, no.
170.
So what did he have going then? 224. So he had 74 in the 5th and then started stringing it.
Yep.
Brandon, by the way, shot 163 in game 1.
Wow, okay. So good bounce back. Looked like Brett Wolf? Brett, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He had a 6.8 in the 8, so his max is 190.
Go back to Chris Mays. I know Mom is watching. Mom is Hunter bowling as well. Let us know in the chat when you get a moment.
If I can take a moment for a friendly plug.
Sure.
Absolutely.
How many people we got in the chat?
Right now, we have
3.
All the tens and tens of fans.
A lot.
We got bunches.
There's several.
Yeah, or viewers. Like,
we got 226 right now.
226 viewers. So
divided by 4.
No. I'm
times
just
8. What's the minutia? Hey, what's the minutia of that? Oh, just kidding.
I'm going to ask a favor of the viewers, if y'all can. I did just soft launch a YouTube channel.
Okay.
I do have one short up. It's a ball review video on the Hyperdrive.
Pearl.
If you get a moment,
Hyperdrive
Pearl. Sorry, Hyperdrive
And comparing
Pearl.
to the regular
comparing
Hyperdrive. I watched
it to
this
the
morning.
regular Hyperdrive.
By the way, in case you didn't know, Kyle Troop throws it pretty good. Just throwing it out there in case you didn't know.
It might be a little difficult to find me because my channel is Kyle_Troop, but unfortunately, it pulls up a lot of videos, so you may have to filter to channels or Kyle Troop Hyperdrive Pearl review. But, yeah, I do have a soft launch YouTube. We got some big things planned for it, dropping some shorts throughout the year.
He's not dropping his shorts. What he means there, folks, is short videos.
That would be – yeah, so we are
welcome.
releasing some short videos while we put together some bigger ones. But finally got into the YouTube realm a little bit, and I see Emil is still – yeah, right there. That
Which
first
one?
one, the shorts.
This one?
Right there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Love that the logo, by the way.
Yeah,
Your
thank
logo.
you. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Sorry.
No, you're good. All right. We got some action still cooking here in front of us. We got Chad Loesch.
Yeah, are you able to share that in the chat,
Looks
Emil?
pretty
You able to hook
good.
me
Yeah,
up?
I got you big time.
Again,
Okay.
Kyle, exactly what we talked about here with Chad in front of us, right? Like in that zone, getting to go end over end, put out a little deal.
Is he still throwing the max? I didn't see that shot.
Yeah.
Yep.
Same
Okay.
thing. That kind of big flare, kind of end over end, kind of, just feeding it, not getting the over response. Just,
I did bring Equinox Solid this week. I haven't got to throw it a lot, but I was pretty impressed with what I've seen.
Yep.
A little cleaner than I expected, but nice and round. I feel
Yep.
like it's very controlling. Probably going to be great on a lot of wet, dry conditions. I mean, heck, Joe Findling used it with Dio last week when they won at the Nightmare.
Yeah.
He threw it the whole time,
Yeah.
just trapping it right up the middle of the lane.
Sweet. Yeah, no, it's a deal of, with that cover, there was a reason putting a cleaner solid on it, right? Because we've got max, we've got hyperdrive, we've got some bigger balls. We just needed a bigger ball with cleaner cover. And
That might be all right.
there's definitely a method to our madness when we're creating bowling balls. And you and I were chatting earlier, about some stuff. And yeah, we're trying to build, as I always refer to, the puzzle pieces on the lane, right? Because the bowling lane is 39 inches wide, 60 feet long, and it's just one big puzzle. And so you got to build the pieces that all interlock and fill the different spots on that lane.
Chris Mays.
See, that's that zone right there that I'm talking about. I want to see if that spot gets nice. Like kind of between 5 and 10. Because if that kind of develops, then I think scores could go up a little bit. And you can kind of see Ponzo's, going around it a little bit more, but still, I mean, that's 10, 11. Cut it off, but yeah, he didn't really get it right of 9. So that might be the slot that develops into something kind of nice.
Quick shout out to my guy Mike Flanagan in Inside Bowling checking in.
Shout out to my guy Mike Flanagan
That's right.
at Inside Bowling.
IB and Kyle have done some
What's up,
great
Mike?
work as well this season.
Yeah, if Mike's
Flanny
listening,
in the
then got to
hizzle.
plug the website that he helped me out with, KyleTrueBowling.com.
Oh, see, we're
in it, Schlemer. We got a website.
We're
we
talking
got
about
YouTube.
shorts, and now all of a sudden we got
We're
websites
dropping
and YouTube
shorts,
channels.
minutiae.
Dude,
Mike recently hit a very nice milestone at Inside Bowling at 100K.
He did.
And I'm hoping to hit not the similar milestone as that, but a smaller one of 10K by the end of this weekend. We're very close here on Bowlstream TV.
oh,
so
we're going to get it there.
while you subscribe to Kyle's channel, also subscribe to Bowlstream TV and subscribe if you haven't to Inside Bowling as well.
All of them.
A lot of great
Let's
bowling
grow.
content on our social platforms.
Carl said that my guess was a little too high. He just walked by. You say that 210 across is plenty good? Yeah.
Oh,
Okay, Chad.
catches the double.
That's huge. One more. I put him in the 2-0s.
Yep.
On this squad?
Yeah, we got a 2-teen over here on 13 and 14.
Minus
190, couple 190s down on 5 and 6. Yeah, so I think the transitions are happening, and they're figuring it out a little bit. Again, now you're getting into that 180, 190 zone. So now you're a hit or two away from 2-0, 2-teen. Is
Starting
that
to
a
see
ball
the
change?
lane.
Is it a move on the lane?
Or is it just a better shot?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. It's gonna be good to see this kind of unravel here.
Kevin Wilson into the right. Keith Dahmer, always one of the best dressed. He's from Tucson, Arizona. And Chad does his thing.
Gobble, gobble, gobble.
That's right. We're moving to Game 3 shortly. Kyle, I know you will be exiting, but anything that you would like to leave with the viewers? You're bowling at 2 today?
o'clock.
Okay.
Yep.
What can the viewers anticipate, so to speak, when you hit the lanes this afternoon?
Patience. But, I don't want to say I'm going to put on a show because it is just Thursday. Like, we're going to try and get the feet wet.
Right.
You know, it would be really nice to just pop off a big number and, you know, kind of be able to take either Friday or Saturday squad off. But, you know, just looking forward to getting out here and throwing some balls down the lane. I am bowling the 6 o'clock 2-game sweeper as well. I'll bowl the first one of those. And, yeah, you'll probably see some surface on my urethane balls for sure. We may go with a little over-surfacing.
220, 221, whatever it takes?
360 fresh,
Okay.
CTD, 500 CTD fresh too. So, yeah, we got some dust if we want to. So we may go for the over-surface first and then if that's
See what
too
it
much,
looks like?
yeah,
Gotcha.
and then see what's up. But appreciate y'all having me in the booth.
Hey, well, he's going to be back throughout the weekend. But
Oh, yeah, I'll be popping in probably every day.
Because, you know, there is one thing we do have to talk about during this duration. Carolina Panther football?
Yeah, we're going to have to save that.
We're going to we'll save that one. We'll talk about that
we
later.
We are on
right?
a heater, so
Yeah.
we're
Okay.
going to
All right, I got you. All right. We're putting that one on the sideboard here, folks.
That might be the Friday special.
That's notes for later for Friday special. We'll get the inside scoop on the keep pounding down there in Carolina. So,
all right, guys.
even though you're a Louisville guy now, but, you know, hey,
we ain't got no team.
Yeah.
He gets to
We
keep
ain't
his
going
team.
to the Titans.
yeah. No, ain't nobody got time for that. I get you.
All right,
See you,
man.
fellas.
Enjoy your morning.
All right, thanks, bro.
That is Kyle Troop, 12-time PBA champion, 2-time major winner, including the U.S. Open. Again, he will be featured throughout the weekend. He's bowling at 2 p.m. He's bowling a sweeper tonight. Big action match against Phoenix legend Matt Jones. That is Friday night, immediately after sweeper
Is it
number
Phoenix
2.
Legend or Legend of the Phoenix? How does this work?
He could be both.
He could be both, right?
He could be both,
I'm gonna
actually.
sit down because I'm fluffy.
He's also,
here we go.
what did he just Metro USBC Hall of Famer, Metro Phoenix. Matt has won just about everything you could win locally, so it's a very good matchup. Looking forward to seeing
It'll be
that
fun,
again
right?
tomorrow night. And everyone loves action, generally speaking, right? And if you don't want to partake in it, you certainly love watching.
Oh, for sure, right? And I think that's one of those things that it's kind of I think the best way to term it is it's a lost art. You know, there was a time when action bowling was a big thing. As recent as the early 2000s still, like out on the East Coast. And the reason I say that is I can remember those days when we started going out there for back in my 100 years ago when I was a tour rep. When we get to the East Coast, some of the guys, the tour guys, would go bowl action matches late at night, right, depending on what squad they were on. And, yeah, we're talking a couple thousand a game. I mean, some of the bigger ones were like 10 grand matches. I mean, action bowling was a thing, and that's how bowling, especially in the East Coast, for a long, long time was kind of a thing. So it's cool to get to see that still in today's modern world.
The last time we both were here, we saw, what felt like the return of Robert Smith. But for a lot of people, it felt that way, right? Because people hadn't seen Robert bowl in quite some time. So that in and of itself added this different level of intrigue. And then he was bowling Greg Thompson Jr., who was also fantastic in his own right. And again, someone that some people may not know, but most people would know, if that makes sense.
Yep.
Right? If you know bowling, you probably have heard of GT2.
Or seen him somewhere along the line.
But if you watch tour bowling over the course of your life, you certainly know Robert Smith.
Yeah, and what's funny is I was talking to Max Bob this morning, right? Like, and so I was a tour rep for the back end of his career, right? When he was on tour, and I helped him win some titles and the whole thing. And I said, what's funny here lately is that he's resurfacing as a when you see the old videos from like Japan and some other stuff in the early 2000s with us, and he just shook his head and started laughing. He's like, dude, he goes, I know. He goes, and he's got a pro shop, and the times are people, so those people all know him, right? But when he travels a little bit and he's meeting some of the younger people are like, who are you again? What do you do? Right? They have no idea of what he was
he's
back then, right? Like he was the rev rate before rev rates.
The
right?
interesting thing about the generation that we're kind of in now, especially with social media, is I feel like there's some way to monetize that, right, to some degree, because he when you go back and watch his videos, especially again youth today, I mean it's incredible to watch it. It's I feel like it's more special now looking at it as opposed to when it was happening. Yeah, now, some of us, like my age, were still young.
Yeah, he was the guy that, the Sarge used to grip because his rev rate was too high. And, Bob, whenever it was something they decided to start measuring, right? Like, he was the first guy to I mean, I shouldn't say the first guy because you had Kelly Kaufman and a couple other guys ahead of him, right? But Robert became the mainstay of the rev rate guy on tour, over 600. And now with all the two-handers, that's kind of just, that's kind of average for most two-handers. Or then you get some of the college guys that just zap all over it, right? That they're, 575 to 650. And it's kind of just a commonality. But there was a time, and it's especially when you go back to the, I think about back to the favorite Max Bob stories. Bob won some titles. He owned the cheetah pattern back in the day.
Oh yeah,
because it had the free hook off the gutter, right?
Yeah, that was back in the.
He could
start to the right.
He'd start at 18 or 20. And I'd be like, "You good?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "I'm going to start at 18." He goes, "And I'll get to 30." But he was banking 5. From every angle, it was banking 5. And it looked like somebody just kicked it down lane. And there was nobody else within 2 arrows of him on some of those patterns or some of those cheetah shows, right? Like that was just that's what he did back then. And yeah, like you said, the generation now doesn't know they don't know who that was, right? They just see the guy that bowls on the senior tour a little bit now. So Wesley though, packing a strike. We're starting to see some games. We're starting to see fill-in frames here earlier here as we get into, I believe we're game 3.
This is game 3.
Yeah.
Those of you who may just be joining us. Speaking of Matt Jones, he is watching. And that's a great point that Virginia Young made. Hello to Virginia. Shout out to Marlon Brown, too. I saw Marlon watching earlier and everyone else who has checked in. David as well. And Gina. There are 2. Well, there's multiple Matt Jones.
Oh, yeah.
There are 2 probably significant Matt Jones, especially on the West Coast.
Oh, for sure.
One is from California, which is correct.
Shout out to, Matty two-handed chest.
Very
right?
unique.
Yes.
Yes, very unique. And then there's the Phoenix or Arizona Matt Jones.
Yeah. And California Matty's got back in. He took a little time off, but back into bowling. So
I feel like I saw he won something.
Yeah, shout out to him. Yeah, recently, like a month or 2 ago. I've known him since he was a kid, right? And I can remember the first time I saw him, it was like junior gold or something. And they're like, "Hey, have you ever watched this kid throw?" I'm like, "No." And it was, this was before social media was it is now, right? And I watched him, and the first shot, and I'm like, I said, "Did something? Is he okay? Did something happen?" They're like, "No, that's how he throws it." And I would go, "Well, I got to watch this again." And I'll tell you what, my man put on some performances back in the day, right?
Absolutely.
People, they would, again, it's whatever works for you, and I think that's the great thing about bowling, right? There's no set standard of how your style or delivery has to look or what it has to be like. It's whatever works for you. And I've always been a proponent of that, coaching players throughout time around the world. We take whatever you have that you're really good at, and we try to make it better, right? And I used to tell the story all the time, in my tour rep days. People would ask me this and that. I go, well, I'm not going to teach you to throw it like Pete Weber or Norm Duke or Walter Ray, because I was fortunate enough to work with Walter Ray a few times in his free agent spots, and I'm not going to teach you to throw it like those guys, or in the fact of the girls like Kelly Kulik or Liz Johnson. I'm like, how do you throw it? Let's work on that. And anyway, Matt Jones, California Matt is, he's that guy of, okay, you do that really good, so let's just work on the technique a little bit and work on bowling balls and making that better. And it's just you got to look at the big picture of it.
Gave that 4-9 a run. Alex Lindahl over here on 9 and 10. I see Cesar Padilla Jr. He is next door on 7 and 8, and he can throw it. That's actually a really good cross. Padilla, we saw Brandon Matthews shoot 216 playing the gutter, and then Wesley Lowe. Obviously two righties and, of course, one lefty, if you know Wesley. Two-handed players, one on the right hand or right side of the lane, that's Cesar, and, of course, Wesley from the left side. I saw Theo Duthe. Shout out to Theo, who runs Complete Bowling Events. And really, if not for Theo, I probably wouldn't be in Phoenix as much as I am. I was able to do his first event, which is the Cactus Classic. That's another 10K event. For those who are curious and looking for other ways or other tournaments to bowl, especially on this part of the country, for 4 and, of course, in these cases, 5 figures regarding first place.
Yeah.
So Theo has now run the Cactus Classic. I think this was year 4.
Okay.
Actually, no, 23, 22, 23, 20. Yeah, it was. This was year 4 back in June.
Gotcha.
And then, of course, through that event, as Carl was, on the surface of trying to build his event, we were able to connect. And so big shout out to Theo. He does a great job with Complete Bowling Events. He is helping run the tournament here, as he always does these last couple of years. Appreciate Theo. Hello to Steve. Jared Bear, I saw rep in the chat earlier. Good shot. High flush.
All right. Emil's going to take a TV timeout. He's going to go floating around here. And I'm going to give you what I see from the world of Schlemer right here, right now. You guys can't see it down on, well, maybe you can. You can see the pins down on 5 and 6. But again, those guys are all GT2, a couple Chris Myers. They're off to a decent start down there on 5 and 6. Here on 7 and 8, again, we're starting to see them figured out enough to where they're leaving spares they can pick, so they're starting to fill frames a little bit. And again, when you look at it, I think it's one of those things of the pattern is starting to stretch a little bit, starting to blend out a little bit more. Again, when you have 35 feet, which plays shorter, you're going to see the transitions. It's definitely not blowing apart in the fronts per se. But again, the adventure is pair to pair. And, we're just kind of, see some of these pairs down here to the right, looking a little bit farther. Oh, looks like somebody's got a 3 or 4 bagger down there, like 19 and 20. Yeah, then I see some other designs, if you will. Circle gets the square a couple times on 17 and 18. And just open frame. So, yeah, it's going to be about, I think the best way, kind of like we were talking with Kyle, it's not so much I guess it is kind of a grind. But the big thing is just leaving spares you can pick and stuff that is convertible, right? Like, I'm not talking about like a Mustang convertible or other Maserati convertible or anything. I'm talking about pickable spares, right? And yeah, when you start leaving stuff closer together, 9 counts, 8 counts close together, not designs, it makes it tough when the pattern's a bit harder, and then you're leaving 5 and different different structures
right
down lane, right? And, and again, I think it's capitalizing, on the crossovers, right? You get to a zone where, crossovers are going to happen no matter how good you are or what's going on, because, again,
don't be afraid of it.
Human error is a thing, right? Yeah, don't be afraid of it. And, you just got to, kind of roll with that. And we're watching some guys, Wesley Lowe's down there throwing a 78U. Again, like Emil mentioned, two-handed lefty. He's kind of, kind of trapping it in that little zone, and he's chuckling to himself. But it's one of those things that he knows he's looking at the scores, and it's a grind fest, right? And yeah, we're just gonna kind of keep watching how this plays out. And again, we've got oh, here we go. Thank you, Theo. Theo giving us passed off here a little information. I don't know. I'll hand this over to Emil. Theo brought that over. He was nodding his head like he knew what it was.
Yes,
it's Greek to me.
I asked him for a.
Oh, there you go.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I asked him for a where everyone started, kind of the early lane assignment sheet. There were some players who don't have names on their jerseys, and so I wanted to make sure I properly identified them.
And we're not saying that's a bad thing, right? You don't have to have your name on your shirt.
You don't.
Totally cool.
You do not. I was trying to get an idea of where they started.
I mean,
and so
the dress code is, you can wear shorts, wearing a shirt, you gotta have clothes on. That's really kind of what it is, right? Like, but
yes.
Everybody, whatever
clothes are good.
Some people are comfortable, right? Like, Wesley and a couple guys are wearing slacks, and that's what they're comfortable in. Other guys like bowling in shorts. Girls are wear shorts and skirts and skirts and whatnot, and so that's fun.
Alan Cudlock and Kayleen Almy over on 11 and 12, along with, let's see, we can figure out our lone players. What caught your attention?
Pretty good pitch here over on 13, right? With Jericho Gatis there. Yeah, pretty good shot. I'll obviously hit the pocket. Unfortunately, kind of a rip rack 7. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things, right? Like if they're tougher like this and you're trying to figure it out, and then when you do throw, really you think, oh man, I threw a good shot, and then you don't strike, it's easy for that to get in your head. And again, that's what separates, I think, the different levels of bowlers. Again, Wesley throws a great shot, rip rack, messenger comes flying in front of the 7, and again, he knows that on another pair, and that could easily be a 4-bagger,
Yep.
right? Like, it is what it is.
There's our guy JJ, manager here at Bowlero Kyrene.
Shout out to JJ and his crew. The posse he's got here with him this morning is pretty solid.
Man. Everybody says the same thing about JJ in regards to how great of a job he does here in this building, in this facility.
And the area, because he's kind of overseeing, right? My understanding?
Yeah, well ran.
Yeah.
They got a great league base here. A lot of leagues take place here at Kyrene. And I think we'll have several league players who will be competing this weekend there at the Agent Ong who bowl here locally, or I should say during the league season as well.
Gotcha.
So my guy Stewie, Chris Stewart, yesterday at the kickoff dinner. He bowls league here. Actually bowls pretty well here all the time. And has really improved and continues to improve as a bowler. So we'll see monster mode at some point this weekend as well.
Okay.
Sal Orozco, Alex Lindahl, 9 and 10. I mentioned Padilla over on 5 and 6. I'm going to just take a quick peek down there because you got Dahmer. We've got Dahmer, Chris Mays, and Greg Thompson Jr. And GT just threw a shot. Kind of had that look in his eyes. That's someone, if you give him any inkling of the gutter, he's generally
pretty good.
Very good.
Yep. And again, that's the nature of, he spent a lot of time in the Midwest bowling on bad surfaces, and he's of age. He's old enough to know that playing the gutter is a thing. And what's funny is chatting with him this morning, right? I haven't seen him in a while, and I said, hey man, because I can remember back in my tour up days, he was coming out trying to bowl on tour a little bit, PTQing and stuff. So that's when I met him, something 20 years ago, right?
Sure.
And anyway, he's like, oh, I'm doing Irish Slam, da da da. He goes, well, because it should be interesting. I go, what's that? He goes, well, I haven't bowled in like 2 weeks. I go, well, you forgot how in 2 weeks? He's like, well, no. I just, I go, stop making excuses, dude. Like, you can bowl. That's fine. But it's just a bowler mentality, right? Like, when they, I haven't thrown a shot. I haven't, yeah, okay. You know how to bowl. You're going to figure it out. Everything's going to be fine. Speaking of figuring it out, the brain thrust of this event is just snuck in here to my right armpit. Mr. Carl Ong. Hello, Mr. Carl. He's trying to figure out how to get the headset on.
I'll show this washout conversion
There
in a
he
moment.
is.
But first,
Hello.
GT2 didn't like that one.
Kyle had it all jacked up with his fro.
This might be the
Carl's struggling over here. My man's on the struggle bus over here.
this might be the
Got it?
highest game of the day.
Hey, there he goes.
Yeah, this might be the highest game of the day.
I need to turn 3 up for him.
Yes, sir.
All right. I'm
All-
learning.
all the way
I'm
around.
learning. I'm a pseudo studio guy now. Look at me go.
Yeah, I've been seeing you.
I'm going to drop my first record here soon.
You've been all over the camera, of course, behind the scenes. I've been seeing you on some Storm vids and some Roto vids, of course, holding cameras and getting people aligned and producing stuff.
Hey, that's not me.
Yeah, I see you every now and
I'm
then.
just along for the ride. I'm the trained circus monkey. They just tell me what to do and I do it. It's fun.
Carl through
227?
Yeah, I think that as of this moment, that is the highest game of the day so far. As of this moment, 227.
It's a good game. I've seen, I was walking around just looking at scores. A lot of 2-0s, 160s.
Mm-hmm.
Like, literally, I don't know if anyone's shot back-to-back deuces.
Well, this is
I
only
don't
game
know if
3,
I've-
right?
No, I know, but I'm
And
just saying in general, like, there's a
the one thing
the
we've
drop
noted
off.
so far is, again, as we talked about, lane to lane, pair to pair in this building is going to be the adventure. But people are starting to collect, like over here, right? In Wesley's pair. look at all those filled frames, right? Like it's a matter of learning. You can stay around the pocket. If you're, and Wesley's throwing some great shots, and he's like sent messengers. That was a pretty good pitch there. Messengers in front of the 7 and stuff like that, right? It's leaving stuff that you can convert. That just kind of helps the grind out, right? Like these guys are all going to bowl a fairly decent game there, right? Like they just keep grinding out, filling frames. But then, yeah, like you mentioned, 160 pops up because people leaving designs or they're 6-1 or 6-2. And by the way, kids, pick your spares. You can't just give away free pins as over here looking at 9 out. Those are must converts because this isn't easy, right? Like,
no, without a doubt. Like I said, if history dictates anything in my tournament, if you're filling holes and you catch a double here and there, you're gonna be bowling on bonus on Sunday.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Like 0 and minus 35 has been the last 2 years.
That's a great point, Carl. It'll actually give us a nice segue into, since you're here, being able to just kind of explain the format of the tournament, how each squad works, who advances, and then ultimately how we get to a champion on Sunday.
Absolutely. So we have 7 squads over the next 3 days, 2 on Thursday, 2 on Friday, and 3 on Saturday. It is a rolling cut score. There is no daily cut score. After every squad, you're going to see a cut line, and it's going to move lower and lower because as we get
more entries,
our ratios, and we get more entries, means we're going to take more places in more spots going into Sunday. So unless you post a large number, and this is obviously so early, I mean, even after 3 or 4 squads, what we think will be the cut could easily change up or down.
Absolutely.
And it's very difficult to say, we're all guessing. If we were to try to take a guess today, we're probably going to be...
Yeah, good luck. I'm not even going to attempt to try and throw a number at because it would be the most ludicrous thing to imagine. No.
So it's a 1 in 5 ratio. Everyone that's in the cut comes back Sunday morning. Pins do not carry over. We bowl 4 games, no matter if we have 24 finalists or going into Sunday or we have 60. We're cutting to 24. Once we get to our top 24, how you got out of the catcher's round is how you're going to be seated the rest of the way through the tournament. What I mean by that is if you qualified first and you get eliminated, whoever's in the final 4 is based on how you got out of catchers of where you're seated in the step ladder. We bowl 4 games, we cut to 24. The top 8 get a bye. So in theory, the first round is actually a round of 16.
Right.
9 through 24. We get our 8. We bring back in the original 8 that had a bye. We do another round of 16. Cut to 8, cut to 4, and there's your step ladder. And it's a race, the best 2 out of 3. So if you're wanting to save some hand and save some strength, erase the player in 2 games. And just sit and hang out for a little bit while we go to some matches. We'll go to 3 games. We have a little bit of a wood factor in here, 0, 5, or 7, that will play throughout the tournament, including match play and in the step ladder. Sweepers and side pots are all scratch. Just for anybody out there that's debating that.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, and that's one of those things I mentioned earlier. When you started talking about this thing, and obviously talking to Robert and myself, and it was one of those deals that you and I discussed the few pins, and like I said, in Europe, when the girls get pins or the lower average, those people don't dominate, right? It just helps level the playing field to help create a wider spread skill set, and you definitely, looking here this morning, you definitely have that. That was the goal.
And one of the things that, so the best part of it, I think it is, whether you average 209 or 109, you're getting the same amount of wood. Should a 130 average bowler bowl my tournament? Maybe not. But unless you want the experience of
But if you
seeing
want
what
to,
it's like,
I mean,
absolutely.
I think it goes back to year one, and I don't know if he came back last year. The guy that only been bowling 6 months.
That's correct.
That showed up to bowl.
I was just thinking that same.
And
Yeah,
it's
Prince.
like,
I
wow.
remember the name.
And he was ecstatic to meet us all, and he's like, "Hey, yeah, I guess I'm just getting into it." And we're like, "Welcome, man! Like this is cool, right?" And I don't know if he bowled last year.
He did.
He did. Yeah. So maybe we'll see him this year.
Yeah,
even.
possibly.
Possibly. Okay.
You know, and what I will tell you is, if you are out there thinking that 180 can't make my cut, you're absolutely incorrect.
Oh,
I
for
had
sure.
multiple players last year that booked 180 and made my cut and bowled on Sunday, but I had bonus bowling.
Yeah.
And the reason, you know, and that's kind of goes like some people ask me all the time, how come you just don't put out China? That is the reason.
Yes.
Because the gap of the elite versus the fringe 2-0 average bowler, that gap shortens extensively when I make conditions harder, or
Yes.
just in general. When conditions are harder,
Absolutely.
the gap of, because I'll be honest, I have no shot of winning my own tournament. First, I won't bowl, but just in general, my talent level is not there. However, I would rather bowl this against Wesley Lowe, Shroop, Simo. The only reason is because I can never outstrike them.
Correct.
All I can do is hope to carry better than them, you know, and hopefully, you know, and they're going to have just of the same issue with the lane pattern.
And to help back up that train of thought, right? And this goes back to my tour rep days. There's a reason why Walter did bowl a little bit, but there's a reason why Norm Duke didn't bowl league. And when Pete bowled league, like I'm talking about the legends of the game, right?
Right.
Like, and he would tell people all the time, we're like, oh yeah, he goes, oh, bowl Monday nights, da da da. He goes, I'm like 14th in average. Now, mind you, he's a Hall of Famer and, you know, winning U.S. Opens and all this other stuff. But again, yeah, in certain environments, even guys on tour can't strike enough with the, you know, the house mouses or the you know, those kind of guys that just get lined up and can strike for days, right?
I can't remember the name of the league on Monday nights at St. Charles Lanes. That's what you're referring
the trio,
to.
Yeah, the trio at St. Charles.
That was a great league.
Yeah, for
like,
sure.
All the college students would stay up late, quote
to go bowl
unquote,
it. Yeah, because it started at like 9,
to
9:15.
either bowl or watch.
2 guys and a girl.
Yeah,
and
it was great.
Yeah, but I mean, some of the guys, and we're talking back in the day, we're talking, this was late 90s and the early 2000s, you know, guys were averaging 240 back then.
They still were in the early 2000s.
And Pete was like, oh, yeah, I'm averaging
2000s.
232. He goes, I think I'm like 16th in the league.
I mean,
he goes, I can't strike enough.
I mean, you're not making this up. Like, Pete was averaging 230, and he was not leading.
Yeah,
Not
not even close.
Right, not even close.
Yeah, so it just gets into that whole thing of, and I mentioned that earlier too, right? Like, you can't make it a strike fest because you're right. When certain people get lined up, man, they can strike for days. And people who, and like as you mentioned, the 180 is that fringe. Because truth be told, folks, if you average 180, you're basically a hit one frame away from 200. And it's however you put that in a spare or it's an extra strike in that spot, you're averaging 200, right? So that's the fringe spot. And man, you get a few pins and, you know, you kind of keep it clean. And we're watching some really good bowlers that are putting together 160s, 170s, and they're scratching their head. While somebody who averages 40 pins less than them, man, maybe he's grinding out 180. Like, they're still hitting their average.
Correct.
Right? And so that's part of the joy of this whole thing.
We have moved into Game 4, and Brandon Matthews, he's one to keep an eye on still. He's in another game in the 2-0s. We saw him shoot 216. He did shoot 163 again in Game 1. So, and again, Carl, each squad produces how many players or their scores, right? It's a beat the board, right? Correct. So you don't know who's going to, but you assume, quote unquote. If you put up a decent number, maybe you bowl again, maybe to see if you can beat that, but you might feel good about a number and maybe not leave it to chance, but give yourself a chance to make it.
I would say there's 2 trains of thought when it comes to that. If you have the berries, do you bowl again for a bunch of sides? Because there's a whole lot of side action.
The gamble.
As
Kyle
Mr. Troop would say, Kyle, gamble.
Gamble.
So
one of our words. The other word is minutia.
because some of Minutia.
That,
Wow.
He threw that one out there.
That's
That's a big word.
That's a big word.
Yeah, so we're going to utilize those today. Those are the
Word
words
of the day.
Yeah, gamble, minutia.
Okay. I'll make sure and try to get that in there when I
Yeah.
can. I got to look at what minutia means first before I can do that. But okay.
It's whatever you want it to be. We live in a world where you just make stuff up. That's fine.
So I would tell you that there's two trains of thought. The gamble side, right? If you have the berries, you might want to reinvest and go get some brackets and some doubles action with some players that you know and see how it goes. There's quite a few people that were a couple grand ahead going into before Sunday even showed up. They pick and choose, and if they thought they had something, they fired.
Yep.
The other thing is that's why Saturdays is always packed, because that is the moving number.
Sure.
That's the number that everyone's trying to figure out, what's happening. And obviously, if you put up 100 over, you probably don't need to bowl again. But if you're also putting 100 over,
You could make some more money.
make some more money. So, but obviously, we're so early. I don't know what the cut is. It could be 60 over. And now, if you're 60 over, after maybe 3 or 4 squads, and we're 60 over, do you sit at 70, 80 over?
Right.
Or do you try to attempt to better your score?
It's a good question.
And that's the fun part of
Day one, squad one.
Or,
'Cause we don't know what that looks like, right? And
or not having daily cuts or squad cuts. Because, I want the best equity for everybody. And it shouldn't be, well, there's more players that come in on Fridays than Saturday. I'm going to try to grab myself a spot on Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
Now this is, you bowl when you want to bowl.
Yep.
I mean, obviously you are gifted a better price on coming in Thursday. You're saving $50 to bowl Thursday squads. All your reentries are $175 thereafter. So, you can save $50 just by bowling at 9 or 2 o'clock on Thursday. But we added additional perk this year. If you bowl the morning squads, either Thursday or Friday, if you're leading, you're bowling a sweeper that evening for free.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's not a side pod. It's just me saying thank you and congratulations on leading the squad. Pick a sweeper tonight, and you're going to bowl for $1,000, guaranteed.
Yeah, and that's one of the other things we talked about too with Kyle. Is the format exactly as you just kind of going through it. There's so many ways to make money, right? Like it's not just a deal of hey, I'm gonna you're here and you got the brackets and you got the sides and you got and doubles. I don't know, is that new this year?
No, yeah, we did it. We started doing it last year.
Okay, I wasn't here last year. Okay.
Yeah, crisscross doubles.
Crisscross doubles, and tell us what that is for those watching home that don't know.
Absolutely. So it's $20 a team. You can bowl with anybody that's bowling your squad. And it's unlimited amount of team, and it's a roll. It's just a beat the board.
Okay.
And it's so Greg Thompson, as an example, in front of us.
Yep.
He could bowl with 9 other players on this squad, and it's just a rolling beat the board, and all 7 squads combined. So if Greg bowls 3 times and Robert bowls 3 times, and they happen to bowl at the same time, they can get the top 7 scores, and they're all going to get paid down. So you can cast.
So that is a beat. It's doubles, but it's beat the board.
Yeah, correct.
And you have to be on the same shift for
Yes.
that number to count.
That's correct. So
Okay.
I can't say Greg bowls now, Simo bowls on Saturday morning.
And so
I'm
you
gonna
pick your
combine-
partner, or is it a blind draw deal?
No, you
Just
can bowl with as
whoever
many
you want.
partners
I
as
gotcha.
you want.
Okay.
So, for example, Brett, I believe, is bowling with this squad is Zweig, GT, and maybe Ponzo, as an
Okay.
example, right?
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
Wesley.
Yeah.
So those 4 scores for Brett Wolf and those guys alone are just going to sit on
Right.
this board, and it's just going to be rolling.
And come the end of the tournament, they could be those 4 or the top 4.
Yep, it could be the
Nice.
top 4.
From squad 1, day 1.
Yep.
Yeah. Again, that's another way. Again, another way to make the money. And the other thing Kyle brought up too is the last game jackpot deal,
Yeah, the RVR.
which makes total sense, right? Like, why not? Just throw a couple more bucks in, and And he mentioned he recently bowled I think it was a Nightmare Doubles or something, and he snuck out one, and he's like, yeah, I cut that and whatever. He goes, so I broke even for the day on my side actions. He goes, so it was all right. $10 in, I got $280 back. He goes, yeah, that's sweet. So
Yeah,
just
pays for your
ways to
squad.
make money. Yep.
There's a million
pitch
ways
right
to
there.
free roll in here.
Front 3. Not that I'm jinxing it.
Oh, you.
Yeah, yes, young Dylan, man, he can throw it, man.
You already had the cloud here sitting next to me. It was, frame 3 of game 1.
Right.
Well, we've essentially now kind of reset squad 1, because by skipping 2 pairs, of course, we see the groups now come back in their starting area, but not the starting pair. They're to the right or to the left of where they began, which is, of course, the goal achieved when you skip 2 pairs. So you see GT2, you see Matt Zweig, we see Brett Wolf now on 9 and 10. And hello, Gus, by the way. Shout out to Erica Hanna, who's also local and does some great work with Sincerely Supermom. She's also a fantastic women's championships organizer. She's got like a gazillion teams that she takes to the women's championships every year.
That's a lot.
That's
a big number.
A lot of phone numbers and monies to
coordinations.
Keep an eye on.
Lots of coordinations.
Teams, et cetera, and so forth. So we appreciate everybody tuning in. With that said, too, again, we're on mission 10K this week. Someone's going to win 10,000 in a really dope championship belt from Carl. We're trying to get to 10,000 subscribers here on Bowlstream TV, and I believe we're going to do that with your help this weekend. So by the time I leave Sunday, hopefully we'll be at 10,000.
Tell all your friends.
Plus.
Tell your friends.
I mean, that's got to be the new goal now.
Tell your friends about me.
Yes, that's.
Yeah, that's what I said. Tell your friends to tell their friends.
I think we have to have a social media movement here, and everyone subscribe to Bowlstream TV. Emil's the best in the business, and I'm not just saying that because he's in front of me. That's why he's back, and I don't foresee that partnership changing anytime soon. So again, thank you for coming out, Emil. But yeah, let's get Emil to 10,000 subscribers. So
yeah,
please.
So y'all that are listening are probably already subscribed. If not, log on, hit that subscribe button. And again, you got to reach out to tell your friends, because we're guessing that you're all listening. You're already part of the fam. We need to extend the fam. So make the fam bigger.
And we'd like to share
some love. And that's how we're going to get him growing up here.
We'd like to share because
get him to 10K.
As Kyle mentioned, he's got a new YouTube channel, so he's starting to build that base. And we already put the word out there for him on his behalf. So please go subscribe there to Kyle Troop's channel. I'm actually looking forward to seeing that or watching that review during the break.
Yeah, pretty good.
Ooh. We will have a bowling ball discussion throughout the week today. I won't overload you, Schlemer, on
it's squad 1, day 1,
squad
bro.
1.
We're already hitting me with bowling ball questions?
We got to pace this thing out. Okay, we got to pace it out. But I am interested in what the product lines look like.
That's pretty good right there.
As we've got 4 in a row from Young Dylan. So again, we'll get not right now. But just be prepared. I'm going to throw some product questions.
I'm going to go study.
Let me throw out an equipment reminder for anybody that's getting ready to come out and bowl that's watching the squad right now. Now, I know there's a lot of regional players and a lot of touring players that are coming out. Truth be told, just wanted to let everyone know up front, if it has not been worldwide released to the general public, you cannot throw that ball in this competition. Example, if there's any releases tomorrow, you just can't throw the ball today.
Correct.
You can now shoe up with that ball tomorrow, but not in the squad today, not in the sweepers today. This happens every year when there's a Friday release that there's a question, well, if it's out and everyone knows about it, can we at least throw it? No, because no one has access to it except you. And there's no edge for anybody that is in the know or has a connection or is on staff.
Yep.
So
and then to piggyback off of that too, the other thing is, and Kyle touched upon it in terms of urethane, right? And he said he drilled some old school ones, a fast pitch and a pitch black. Again, if you're a PBA player or a member, where you have to abide by the 78 rule, the original urethanes are in play because Carl has not banned urethane yet. I say yet, who knows? But again, that's his decision, right? So yeah, those balls, older urethanes are in play, and I think I just noticed too, the GT2 has got he's got an original blue hammer with the script fab, which means it was made in St. Louis. Yeah, so it's probably older than Carl.
Right. That's old. So I will tell you that if it's on the USBC approved list, you can throw it.
Okay.
That's it.
Including international balls. That's fine. USBC approved.
Yep.
Just like the PWBA Tour.
There's a link on our Facebook page, so you feel free to keep an eye on that.
Pretty good pitch.
Yep.
So if it's on the USBC approved ball list, you can throw it here.
That's correct. And it's been worldwide released as
I
well.
was just saying the extra layer to that, though, is it has been released
To the general public.
to the general public.
Worldwide release date.
Okay.
Correct. So all you guys itching for new equipment tomorrow that have it in their bags today, you'll be able to throw it tomorrow, just not today.
We wish you luck. If you're watching at home, we wish you luck.
What's coming out tomorrow from Storm and Roto and Global? Anything?
That's a good question. I'm going to think about that for a second.
I'm sorry to put you on the spot, Mr. Roto Schlem.
You are. You're putting me.
Firmly on the spot.
Yeah.
While Slim ponders that question, we'll take a look at what's happening 3 games in, and the leader of this squad is plus 19. So we went from 5 players after 1 game plus. Now we have 3 games in. There's 1 player plus. That is Greg Thompson Jr. is bowling on 11 and 12 right at your screen. Mr. Roscoe, that was a really good shot there. I hear you.
Do we have the imaginary line up there yet by Theo? Did he put that up there yet?
Not yet.
Okay. I will make sure that Theo adds the imaginary line as of this budget so we can
For
play with
20, or I'm sorry, how many we take for cashes?
Well, 1 and 5.
1 and
However, we have to take into account re-entries and et cetera. So it's a moving target, but just in theory, 1 and 5.
Well, that's one thing you don't see a lot of.
You just said GT was the only 1 plus.
Cloud strikes again.
You again just allowed him to
I'm officially
clean the
back.
channel.
Officially
Clean the
back
channel.
now. Yeah, you don't see GT do that a lot, but it does happen.
Well, he is playing where he's playing. You're playing. You're flirting with that big channel over there.
Mr. Wolf will take care of the single pin. Don't forget about, again, young Dylan. He's got front 4, 9 spare strike. You're on 9 and 10. And the spare from GT. The good news there was he was not on a spare, so he didn't lose count. So just like 9 spare, like nothing happened.
Or missed the double, unfortunately.
Oh, I needed to refresh. Thank you, Virginia Young. The line is now there.
See?
It is 12th currently. That's where the line starts.
Tell Virginia we're going to miss. Oh, Virginia, we're going to miss you. Miss your handwriting because this lovely young
she's
lady
got goat handwriting.
has always written all my checks from all my players.
She
Now I
writes
got to
checks
find
here.
somebody else.
She writes
that,
the back bracket board at the Cactus Classic.
So have fun on your
Oh,
cruise.
she's on a cruise.
Have fun.
Tell the whole cruise to put up Bullstream TV on the,
Yes, there you go.
on the cruise ship.
And subscribe.
That's right. Tell the captain.
Make an announcement.
Brett Wolf. Boy, just, you know, I'm blessed to work on the PWBA tour, and especially the early part of the relaunch. Yeah, we still had Leanne bowling a little bit. We still had Carolyn Norton Ballard bowling a little bit. Of course, Liz Johnson, Kelly Kulik, and I always mention those players in the timeless style category, right? Brett Wolf, timeless style.
Absolutely.
He looks the exact same. Him throwing a bowling ball over multiple decades. It's unbelievable.
And he still wins.
Correct. Even more timeless. I mean, I've never. My joke with him is, I've never met a person who was more itching to turn 50 years old.
Oh,
Than
Well,
Brett
we
Wolf.
talked about it last night. He was like, he's in the window where he wants him to add like another. He needs like another week or 2 added to the OC.
Correct.
And he's like, if they do that, I'm going to cancel out of my spot and
He's
I'm
going
going
to
to bowl the last week
bowl
because I want
before his
senior
birthday.
brackets.
Right, he's on bowl
I'm
before
like,
his
bro,
birthday.
come on now.
it's
The funny thing is that actually happened. I just don't know if it was at the beginning of the tournament or the end of the tournament, but they did add a week. They
Yes.
just announced
Yep.
that a couple days ago.
does he know?
I don't know if it's
Which
on
direction?
the end or
Right,
the
right.
beginning.
I mean, for Brett's sake, let's hope for it's on the back end. But I am gonna.
And for those of you keeping score at home, I was wondering, sure, I didn't want to say it and not do it, but Equinox Solid is the official street date tomorrow.
Okay.
So I think Kyle said he brought one with him. So, just have to remind him that he can't use it today, but tomorrow would be the deal, right?
Yeah, we have quite a few Storm staffers in the building, or just going to be through bowling, obviously, throughout the weekend. And, yeah, I've seen that punched quite a few times this week.
Mm-hmm.
So
Wanted to confirm exactly. Ooh, that's a tough break. 8-10, tripping the 2.
I'm going to let you go. I'm going to talk to my wife over there. That seems like, I don't know what she's just I'm gonna chat with her.
Don't question her. She's the boss.
No, hey. I mean, she lets me do this tournament, so I guess that's one thing.
That's very important. All right, my dude.
Oh, one last thing.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the dinner really quick. Because I love to give a shout out to Crepe Bar.
Absolutely.
And Jeff Krause.
Yep.
And Adam Allison of Brightside Catering. What do you guys think of the spread?
Oh, it's fantastic.
Delish.
Great.
Didn't think of any. Obviously, after experiencing Jeff, year one, right, and Jeff and Adam, correct?
Correct.
They were great. I forgot that Jeff was also a pastry chef as well, and has won some shows because of his pastry dishes.
That's correct.
And he knocked me out with the oatmeal raisin, or the oatmeal.
The whoopie pies.
Yeah, it was great. Oh, man. I was like, oh, this is great. That was like the healthier version of an oatmeal cream pie, like that you get from Little Debbie, right? That was just like, oh, this is everything I needed.
Oh, yeah,
was great.
absolutely.
They're both Food Network champions and really good friends of the family, and I couldn't thank them more and more. The food is spread, and the fact that they, Jeff opened his restaurant up to us last night and hosted our kickoff dinner was awesome. So I want to give a shout out. Oh, and one last thing I do want to tell you is Jeff made an announcement a few weeks ago.
Come on,
Dylan. On our Facebook page.
Boom, shakalaka.
That if anyone shoots 300 in my tournament during the main event qualifying, they eat at the Crepe Bar for free for 1 year, having any crepe on the menu every day for a year.
Wow.
So if there's a Crepe Bar quote-unquote alert, just so you guys know.
That's what's up. Now we
it's
got
called the Crepe
Bar.
Bar alert.
Yes.
So I'm just going to throw that out there.
That's pretty cool.
If
the
you
closest
have,
one we had so far was here.
Right.
You went front 4.
If anyone has the front 9, you might want to try to focus on that. Let's see if they can win free food for a year.
Well, you got to be. You'd love to be local to take full advantage
absolutely.
of
Nope,
that.
I want it shipped to my doorstep every morning.
But if I were not local, I would probably make a trip every couple, months just to cash in.
Partake.
Or when you're here next
or
year.
Or local enough. Like if it
smash
was me,
it for a year. Smash it for 3 or 4 days.
Yeah, how many you need? Oh, can I get
dope.
87? I want 87 this go round, and then 2 months from now, I'm going to come in. Can I get 60? Just backload them.
it's a big 5 in a row there for Matt Zweig, and now he might have the official high game of the squad. He's going to be in the 230s.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm sorry. That honor is going to belong to Dylan. It should at least. As long as things,
Cloud.
You're right. The cloud's over him right now.
I'm sorry, Dylan.
Prove me wrong. Oh, stop it, Dylan. Dylan. You knew I was talking about you. He did that on purpose.
By the way, folks, in
Dylan.
case you're keeping score at home, the
Dylan.
cloud of all clouds
Dylan's
sitting
about to
here
make
to
me
my
curse.
left.
Gosh darn it, Dylan.
I'm going to have to put you in timeout. I'm going to make you go sit in the car.
The cloud thing is the thing. But I feel like it's amplified at this tournament.
Yeah. Oh, really? Okay.
Yes.
Is it just magical and just happens to be that every time you speak it into existence?
That's like the 5th time already.
Yeah. By the way,
This is the first squad.
squad?
Game 4.
Game 4, it's first squad. As soon as you said it, I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, Dylan. Oh, poor kid. That one's yanked up the lane.
Get lucky.
Crossing over.
Get lucky. Oh, Dylan. Come on.
Gutter,
We'll take it.
Crossover spare. Hey, Dylan, it's his fault. He clouded you.
I
he
clouded you. I clouded
Yep.
you, Dylan.
Let's call it how it is. Call it how it is. Yes, folks, we are going to have zero fun here all weekend long as we're in Game 4 of Squad 1. Mr. Zweig caught 235 there, so that's a pretty good posted score for that's the new high game for a minute anyway.
But we will
We'll
not
see how it
show
goes.
the channel portion of
There's a
of Dylan.
220. There's a 225 over here on 17 and 18. So yeah, we're starting to see some scores settle in, right? Like, so it's starting to balance out a little bit, which is cool. A 2-10 game down there on 5 and 6. So yeah, we're, like I said, we're starting to see the pattern starting to flatten, blend. Bowlers are figuring out a little bit. Again, just like any event that you have, you're always going to have a leader, and you're always going to have somebody that figures them out to a degree. And it's, you know, and is there going to be somebody come in? It's hard to say, right? That this is squad one. Is there going to be somebody coming in and just, you know, I feel confident in saying nobody's going to walk in and average 230 for a squad, right? Because you have the, like I said, lane to lane, pair to pair is going to be the thing. So you just have to navigate your ups and downs, and capitalize when you can, right? Like that's the big thing. So, but yeah, the big thing is filling frames and keeping your. I think damage control is a thing that comes to mind.
That's great work,
right?
Great phrase.
Good.
Hold on.
Ooh. That's all right.
It's all right. Makeable.
Ish. I mean, they're kind of far apart, but.
Quick shout out to Sean Finch. We didn't bowl particularly well this game, but he was on 9 and 10. But I had a good convo with him last night, and we were just talking about, you know, things that parents talk about: school, children, schoolwork, the new math that's out there these days, and the 6-7 steps you need to solve
all the things,
a problem.
Look at this, back
Make
up, Mo,
and all that stuff. But just a great dude. Enjoyed talking to him, and hopefully he'll be able to put up some score.
Meanwhile, let's circle back to the cloud action.
Yeah,
so would be the high
cloud.
game, no 224 because Zweig has 235. So
Completely
anyway, again, we apologize to Dylan for that. And he said he knew that Emil clouded him, so I feel better. I'm going to sleep better tonight.
He did say that.
Because he did know that he got clouded. He's like, oh, I know. I'm like, oh, okay, sweet. But
I'm going to give him a little bit of justice here on the channel. We're going to show the messenger, and mainly because I just wanted to see him slap it out. He deserved that. He earned that. He earned that spare.
Get you some of that. That's awesome. That is awesome.
With that said, looks like we are approaching Game 5. That gives us an opportunity to thank several people, in fact, and the presenting sponsors. Of course, Team Agent Ong and My Home Group, Acclaim Garage Doors, Roto Grip, SFE, Schroeder Family Electric, Dude Wipes. Shout out to Dude Wipes. Boy, they've come into the bowling industry, and you know, they are visible, and not just, you know, within the professional level of bowling. So shout out to Dude Wipes, Mark Powell, Bowlify, Tyler Hemmings Media. And I saw Tyler here earlier. He's actually getting some shots. Travel 24/7, Create Proof Print, Your Vision Hour Drive, Brightside Catering, of course, as we just talked about, from Chef Adam Allison, EVFB, that's East Valley Fans and Blinds, Burke Brothers, TMH Websites, Ramsey Auto Center, your Crate Bar, of course, of Jeff Cross fame, Spartan Family Plumbing, Swift Home Inspection, O&B, Friggin' Jerk. Is that a, now that would be a great name. If this was a jerk, like, restaurant, that actually would be a great name. If you enjoy Caribbean and or jerk cuisine.
okay.
Chuck's Painting, and of course the great facility I didn't get a chance to visit yesterday because of my flight situation. B3 Performance.
Yep.
And Mike and Brandy Calderon. Game 5 now upon us. And we're starting over on 11 and 12, or I should say they're already underway. Kyler Adams, Chialucci, Chris Smith. Game 4 finishing up on 13 and 14.
And Chris Smith would be Maxwell and Bob Smith's brother.
Is it really? How about
Pretty sure.
that?
Yeah.
I did not know it. Was he out there on the course yesterday?
I don't know. I didn't go to the golf course, right? Because I flew in.
Okay.
Got here. I'm trying to think when I got here.
Nine-ish?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I was pretty much on time.
I can't say the same. So, Mr. Schlemer,
See.
now that it is Game 5, should you, as a player, and I know you probably shouldn't anticipate, but because we understand the nature of bowling, multiple frames, multiple games, as you get toward the latter half of a block, should you anticipate, generally speaking, some kind of blend to have taken place, at least enough, maybe, if you've got fresh back ends and your ball's just running away from you on the fresh, that a little bit of carry down right helps stretches the pattern?
Yeah.
Should you always assume that, or is it kind of
case
distance,
by case?
Distance related to?
Because all the variables with the different types of lane oils, the lane surfaces, even when you have certain types of oils that are supposed to stretch, sometimes they don't because of a surface friction. As I mentioned earlier, right, in the game 4, when obviously a couple of pairs are kind of starting to blend a little bit, or guys are starting to figure it out a little bit, leaving things closer together. They're seeing that transitions, maybe the transition isn't as critical or doesn't look as exaggerated to them based on their ball roll or how they're attacking them. And again, as far as, from what it looks like, again, this is squad 1, right? Like, it's hard to judge how the rest of it's going to look. But you see the guys still trying to throw the urethanes from out or playing straighter, or even like, Chad's case, he's inside a little bit, but he's getting it, he's tumbling it end over end.
Right.
And again, I think it's being able to. It looks like Wesley actually jumped in with reactive, the two, or down there on the left side. So I think it's knowing general characteristics and seeing what your ball does the first shot, and then make the move of, can I stay there with the same ball? Do I have and do I need to change balls in that zone, or do I need to jump zones altogether, right? And again, those that can do it the fastest are going to benefit, and it's going to be a lot smoother. Because again, we did see a 224 game here on 13 and 14, right? That just finished up. So the 2 teens, 220s are kind of starting to come through, right? And again, if you get in the right zone and again inside a little bit, kind of playing that end over end, there's different. Even though the pattern's shorter, there's a couple different ways to attack it, right? There's not you have to play 1, 2, 3, right? Like. So you've got options, and it's a matter of what you can repeat the best. And I think that's the big thing, right?
I do think the equipment conversation will be fun to continue to have this weekend as we watch the squads unfold, right? And obviously there's urethane conversation because there's going to be urethane used. There's no doubt about that.
Facts.
Curious though, like, Kyler Adams, like, what ball is he throwing? Because that doesn't look like urethane. There's going to be plenty of times, and I think some opportunity where it may not look the best, speaking of urethane. And so,
correct.
What level of reactive will some players use? How much surface ultimately will they use, and all of those things?
Yeah, and that just holds true to anything, right? Because I can tell you, even my couple times out on the men's tour this year, when urethane balls are in play, there's still plenty of guys that don't like throwing urethane, right? And, some guys can absolutely crush it and get lined in, and then other guys are like, man, I can't. And exactly kind of what Kyle said earlier, like, I can't strike enough. Or I can't get my ball to do the right thing enough to compete or keep pace, if you will. And again, it's here, I think urethane is an option in terms of controlling the pocket or controlling the lane. But you're also going to get into, okay, so, again, Zweig's been bowling pretty well here, and he just pocket 7-10, right? Like, and he's hit the pocket every shot. I don't think he's got a strike yet through 3 or 4 frames. Yeah, he's got 8-spare, 7-10, and he's hit the pocket every shot. So maybe he needs to get out of urethane. I don't know if that's in his head, if he's thinking that way, but, again, I think for him, he's probably thinking, I can control the pocket. I think I'll be all right? And because you're not chasing, it's not one of those deals where you go in sheer panic mode where all of a sudden you look up and you're going, man, I'm controlling the pocket, but I'm also giving up 40 pins a game, right? So it's a deal of knowing however you manage your mindset of, hey, I know I need to, if I can keep my bad games to like 180, right? Like I think that's going to be a target for a lot of people.
Just a quick programming note. The next squad today will begin at 2 p.m. local. That's 4 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Eastern time. Again, 2 p.m. local to Arizona. They don't adhere to the daylight savings time, if my memory is correct. So sometimes they're on Mountain Time. Sometimes they're on what we know as Pacific time.
I think did they get that passed yet? I think it's going to be next year, when it just all goes away across the country.
Oh, so we're all moving away from
they were talking.
Okay.
They were trying to push that through the government. I know at one point here recently again. So hopefully that just becomes GT2 with another gutter ball down there in 17 and 18. Again, that's what you. If you're not sharp, as like you said, he has a bowl in 2 weeks. But when you're playing 1-2 or 2-3, yeah, you run the risk.
When you said that, I'm like, okay, that might be where the rust.
Yep.
So to speak,
and
could,
the squad
could
won.
show
And he's
up.
going to bowl some more, and he'll get loosened up and get lined in. And, as we talk about, we know what he's got going on.
Well, it looks like Chad and Kyler, and maybe even Chris, I'll pay attention, not utilizing urethane.
Yeah, I was just going to actually reference Chad, right, because he did ball change from what he was using earlier, and he went back right a little bit. He's still getting it end over end for him in terms of ball roll. But he went further right, and I think that's a logical play based on, as we know, the pattern is starting to stretch a little bit. So then it turns into you'll have some hold. And then it's a matter of, if he goes to the next pair, because we're in game 5, will that hold be there in the next pair? Or will he need to change balls in that same zone? Or will he go, okay, I have to jump back into that inside zone I was playing with the bigger ball? So, yeah, it's just a matter of keeping notes, whether they're mental or written down. That's another thing that you see a lot of tour players writing notes either on the back of their score sheet, or I know the girls, the big thing is like the log book.
Yep.
The girls take notes in their book, and then that way that helps them carry pair. Guys have a tendency to lose their score sheet, so they can't even keep track of an extra book. So, yeah, it's just a matter of how you take notes or keep track of it, right? And, we'll see how it goes. And, yeah, so I don't know. He's still throwing the urethane ball. He did strike, but then he just went 5. He just went five wash out there. Sliced the 3 straight back. And just as I say that, of course, and he misses it a little bit, comes up light, leaves a 1-2-8. But it's pickable again, right? Went spare, 3-bagger. This is convertible, with the 1-2-8. So we'll see what Chad gets here cooking.
Just threw out a quick poll. This one's a softball. Will the squad 1 leader be plus?
Ooh, where are we at? 17 overs leading?
17 over through 4 games. Not every score is entered yet, but we know.
I'm going to say yes.
GT2 will be negative after 4 now, not by much. But right now, Zweig is plus 17. Zachary Schroeder, he's gone 212, 224 his last couple to get to plus 5. The next question will probably get into ranges. Okay, what will the squad leader be plus 10 or more?
Ooh, I don't know. I wasn't going to go there. You said plus. I'm like, there'll be somebody plus. I am confident and okay with saying that. Now, getting beyond that to actual digits and numbers, you're on your own with that one, dog. Good luck. We're all counting on you.
We got a no or 2 in there, so.
And the only reason I say that is because I'm looking over here, right, and we got some guys that are, again, pacing, they're going to be pacing 220 again this game, right? Like, there's some, like I said, they're starting to figure it out a little bit. Throwing a couple strikes, getting a couple spares, limiting the, not the mega damage control, right? Like, you don't have the crazy, 4 through the middle or 5 through the middle or...
Young Orozco, high flush for him. He's got 5 in a row at least over there. This so far, this is a pattern where I'd be like, I'd like to try this. I'd like to challenge myself on this.
Are you bowling league or anything right now? You bowling like at all?
No, the last time I actually bowled was April 6th, 2025.
Wow. In case you were wondering the exact what minute and hour.
It was the last day of league.
Okay. Of last season.
Yeah, and it was a little sour because we had a chance to wrap up the league championship, and we didn't get it done.
Oh, okay.
And, well, yeah, so I haven't picked up a ball since.
Wow.
I did go to the bowling center and not work for the first time in about 10 weeks last weekend, watching my wife and our team compete.
Okay. But you still didn't bowl. You just watched.
I did not bowl.
You were cheerleader extraordinaire.
Yep, and
okay.
that was kind of on purpose. Right? Sometimes I go and I don't want to actually participate with regards to bowling. And this was solely based on the week that the 2 months basically of weekends that I had worked consecutively.
Gotcha.
And I was like, I'm going to go, but I'm not going to bowl. Definitely don't want to bowl. But with that said, there'll be some opportunities for me in November and December to bowl.
And, calling a shot.
I'll get back out there a little bit.
All right.
Which is why I'm going to ask you about some product questions.
I'm putting the pieces together.
And so
that's what he's talking about.
Always know, for me, I'm looking for me, but I'm really always looking for my wife. I care way more about her bowling than mine. I just want her to be the best that she can be. So I'm always looking at
a good supporting husband right there. I like that.
What can be best? What rolls well? I feel like we're at a spot where we might have a few of the same things in the bag, motion-wise. So I'm like, all right, maybe we need to revamp a little bit.
And she probably doesn't throw. I'm looking at she probably doesn't throw it like you. So
no, she throws way better than me.
Okay. Hey, as long as there ain't no shame in that game, bro. You gotta do what you gotta do. Call it what it is. And again, we're starting to see we're a couple, not super mega strings, but turkeys 4-baggers are starting to pop up there.
Just looking at Zach Schroeder, he's on the right of your screen carrying a 4-pin. Again, second currently at +5. Orozco open in the 8th frame. Where is Mr. Orozco? He's actually 4th right now, -95. Just to kind of give you the context, and you can, of course, check the standings. I did post the link. Thank you to Mrs. Mays for reminding me of that. The link is posted, or pinned, I should say, at the top of the chat. Click results. It'll take you to the standings for this squad. And then, of course, you'll be able to click on the drop-down and scroll or check each squad individually. Then, obviously, you'll be able to check up to, however many squads we bowled at a particular point so you can see everything you need to see.
Sweet.
Theo posts everything actually up there, so there'll be brackets, pots. The sweeper standings will be posted on Tournament Bowl. Everything is under the Agent Ong Trilogy umbrella of standings for you this weekend. Erica, I'm not. Well, it's the reverse actually. I'm completely lucky to have her, without a doubt. She's the only reason I can work 9 consecutive weekends. That's the only reason. That's why I'd be up there, pacing around at the women's championships in South Point. Because I'm a nervous husband.
Oh, you're one of those.
I'm a nervous. Yes. I know the term is nervous Nancy. Well, I'm nervous Emil. That's me. 5 and 6 seems to be okay. And Zweig is really good, man. He's another player, too, that I've come to know with regard to, especially playing him straight. And if the gutter's out there, he's going to exploit it.
But again, it's one of those deals. It was a rookie start.
Correct.
He's got a buck. He's got 107 in the 7th, double up. So he's got to finish it off, right? Like, as opposed to some of these other pairs down here, right? We're looking at. What are we going to cook in here? So Wesley up on that side? He's up on the left.
Let's go.
Wesley's pacing, he's looking at 2-teen-ish.
Yeah, let's go down there real quick. There's Wesley.
Yeah, there we go. See, again, he jumped in,
Ooh.
throws the wood at it, and,
Well, Wesley's sending him like he
Oh,
was
he's
like,
crossing with Brett. Okay.
like he was
I was
like
gonna say,
14 again.
Yeah, so obviously Brett's got a good look here too, right? 157 in the 7th, spare up in the 8th. So, like I said, guys are starting to see it a little bit, and yeah, that's why I think that we're going to have Chad capitalizing on the crossover here. You know, we're catching, yeah, these guys are getting in a spot where their mistakes are not as painful, if you will, guys and girls.
Correct, like game 1.
Yep.
Let's take a look at that messenger again from Wesley.
That's a pretty good one.
What's that, an Origin EX?
Kind of looks that way color-wise. We'll have to. Looks up like that's what it is sitting there on the rack.
Let's see, we had Roscoe. Was that Alex Lindahl down there? No, that's our guy early. We talked about him. It was Jericho. Also down on 5 and 6, putting in work. He's got a tough spare to make to try to save 190, which is certainly doable though at this point. Quick flip. We'll take a look at Keith Dahmer here in a moment. Get up the hill. I didn't get there either for Mr. Dahmer.
This Jonathan's got. Is that good? Likes it. He's got 240.
He does have 240.
Heck yeah, dog. Way to go, kid.
Now we will go watch his final shot. So I didn't cloud him.
I'm glad you didn't say anything.
I did say
You
anything.
probably wanted to.
I did.
Of course you did. You wanted to say something, but you're like, oh, I'm going to keep this to myself.
It's funny on tour, and you know this, right? People are doing great things. We run down there with phones and cameras and whatnot. And every now and then you hear a story from a player, but hey, get out of here. Get out of here.
I don't want to see you.
Get out of here. There's Jonathan.
Yeah.
Nicely
like
done.
45?
And Mr. Wolf. Not what he wants to shoot in the 10th frame, but that is what is staring him down, the 2-7. If you joined us late, we've got the Agent Ong Open. Our guy Gus. Gus, we're at Bowlero, Kyrene in Chandler, Arizona. It's a suburb of the Metro Phoenix area. My name is Emil Williams Jr. here with Bowlstream TV. Honored to be back with you here. This is year 2 of 3 for me, and year 2 of 3 for Roto Schlemer, Chris Schlemer of Roto Grip.
Yep.
And I enjoy having Schlem in the booth. And folks, if you enjoy learning, because I like to teach when I'm involved in any live streaming scenario, and I like to set up those who have all of the information, at least the good majority of it, to help you. And Schlem is one of those individuals. So when he's nearby,
I think it's because I'm old, right? And I've been around a long time.
experience does help.
I think experience is really the word that comes in there. You know, and it's kind of like that one insurance commercial. I know a lot because I've seen a lot.
It's all true, though.
And being around, you know, again, spending a good bulk of my career in the industry out on the tours, you know, growing up on the ladies tour and then, you know, tour upping for a number of years. And, and still being a part of, you know, going out and doing clinics and some coaching and whatnot still, right? Like it's all really good stuff. 255.
Good look at Zweig here. There was a 235 on 11 and 12. I missed who that was by. I was the second
Chad.
shot in the 10th. That's right, Chad.
Chad Lewis, yep.
And then over on 9 and 10, there is a 5-bagger currently held by Taylor Esping. And we'll check him out here in a moment as well.
Yeah, and so over on 15 and 16 where we're at, Wesley ended up with 224, and Brett snuck out 203 with a split there in the 10th. So.
It's a good shot there from Keith. Hopefully he's bowling multiple squads. You know, assuming if he comes here this early, he'll be able to maybe either bowl again today, maybe catch a sweeper tonight, and or just make the 2-hour drive back to Tucson and come back again at some point. Did he say he'd go to the drill truck? Is that what he just said? Or go to the truck and drill something after this?
Yeah. Pretty sure he can go to where he gives lessons and get that figured out right quick.
See Taylor here in a moment. That's Paul. And Paul was wheeling and dealing earlier on the fresh. And then, of course, the first couple shots, obviously, our practice were just dead left, as you might anticipate. Esping.
You're welcome.
Wow.
By his name is Emil. Him. He did it. He clouded you. Yes.
It's not going well for me, folks, this morning. You know, my job is to shine a bright light on.
I'm going to have to find
on excellence.
Anybody knows of a witch doctor here in Phoenix? Let me go.
You know what's funny?
Let me hook it up to get the voodoo off of you right now.
About that phrase is that my kids have gotten into Alvin and the Chipmunks. Right?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And my kids are 6 and 4.5, soon to be 5.
Okay.
And so when you think about Alvin and the Chipmunks, nice bear. Yeah, I don't think.
Don't leave anything you can't pick.
Wasn't thinking that they would get the Alvin and the Chipmunks bug so early.
Yeah.
But they have. Even down to, like, they want to hear some songs.
In the car?
In the car.
There you go.
So Alvin and the Chipmunks got the soundtrack.
Nice.
And they cover basically all these popular songs, old and new. Like
really?
Uptown Funk, Bruno Mars, Party Rock Anthem.
Wow.
You know, they got some Christmas songs.
Had no idea that was even a thing.
I didn't either. Right? My Trey tells me, he goes, he's like, Dad, you gotta tell. No, he said, Mom, you gotta tell Dad about our songs that we need to hear in the car. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Alvin and Chip. I'm like, they got songs. And so anyway,
hey, Mom, tell
one
Dad.
of the songs is Witch Doctor.
What?
Yeah,
okay.
no, this one's it's a kid friendly.
Yeah. Okay.
They hey, tell me how to basically get with the love of my life kind of thing. You know. But when you said that, I'm like, I've been listening to Witch Doctor a lot lately.
Like, oh, funny you mentioned that.
It's catchy.
Yeah.
It's kind of bada bing, all that kind of stuff to it, man.
That's awesome.
Mason Edmondson in the chat checking in. Mason, are you bowling this weekend?
Come on down. The weather's nice.
He and his wife are expecting.
Oh. Okay, well, be there for that. Don't come here, bowl if you're going to do that.
I don't believe it's about to take place.
Oh, gotcha.
Today. But they are expecting. Congrats again, Mason. I saw him at the Oasis Invitational where he was running them over, too, there. Running them over. Finished second to Brett Wolf. Good title match. He went 13-3 in match play.
That's pretty solid.
Finished with a little bit more Paul here. He was cleaning. That was a cove. He was cleaning that and trying to get the final skid marks off of it. He's got the PBA patch, so I do think Paul does participate in some regional and or national action. As good as this area is, they do have some PBA regionals quite often in this area. The Mays brothers often bowl, Hunter and Chris, Kyle, GT2, of course. I think Matt Jones has participated as well. Speaking of, as well as Chad, Michael Fitzgerald, who we'll see a little bit of, probably a lot of actually this weekend. I guess hopefully for him a little bit, so you don't have to bowl too many squads because he posts a number.
Yeah, posts a number and feels good about it, yeah.
Talked to Fitz a little bit last night. Hopefully we'll see Kevin Jenkins at some point. All right, some pairs have moved into Game 6.
I was going to say, yeah, we're kind of getting caught in the last game delay, if you will, right? We got guys and girls finishing that are a frame or two behind, but then you got others that are starting Game 6. So
yeah, it's kind of turned into the pace of play in a squad it's touch and go to some degree all the time.
Oh, it's always that way.
Especially as players kind of start to figure it out, right? And then there's players who still aren't quite doing that. And so there's more players throwing a couple of shots more than some others, and that gets us out of line a little bit, but nothing crazy, obviously, right?
Yep.
And just like that, we're
Just
officially into
spitting
Game
facts,
6.
Well, except for here on 7 and 8, they're only in frame 9.
Oh, shoot.
We're trailing behind here. But everybody else is, no, we got, what? Oh, we're at 19 and 20. It's finishing up the 10th down there. So, yeah, everybody else, we're only got 2 pairs that are just a touch behind. So, we'll, luckily, we'll get it all balanced out, and things will be good.
All right, we had 50 votes on the will the squad 1 leader go plus. 88% of you said yes, 12% said no. I do agree the squad leader will go plus, but since I've said it, I've probably clouded that situation. Shout out to the
I need to come up with another word that defines that, because I feel like I need to make one that is just all your own that nobody else has, right? Because the original, and we've talked about this before,
Yeah, the
you and I
cloud
together,
thing has been-
the original cloud goes back to Del Ballard, right? Like, Delmas, God love you. Delmas was the king of the black cloud, and it didn't matter if it was bowling, right? It was, the joke with him was always, it was with his wife, Carolyn Dorn, the Hall of Famer Carolyn Dornballer, shout out to CDB. The Dallas Cowboys, the Texas Rangers, like just life in general for Delmas was the black cloud, right? And yeah, the cloud thing is carried over. Yeah, sometimes it's just it's weird to say how it works or how it functions. It's just ironic, I think, sometimes, right? When it's like things are, how can it go so good and all of a sudden, and it's the cursor and the announcer curse, right? It's just you don't bring up the
perfect
like
game scenario.
Yeah, like a no-hitter or a perfect game, or all the different things, and it just makes for, I don't know. It's just funny when you think about the big picture. But yeah, I need to come up with a word. Folks in the chat, help us name. We need to give Emil his own clouded word that attaches just his handle just attaches
just
to
for
him.
this weekend.
Well, we could start, yeah, because we're only in squad 1, day 1.
It's already.
And my man's already he's batting 1,000 right now.
Yeah, it's crazy.
He hasn't missed yet.
I should be playing in the NLCS or the ALCS.
No kidding.
Shout out to Mookie Betts, by the way.
Yeah, I can say that it's safe to say we won't see Mook popping in for a squad this week.
Well, you don't want to be. Well,
he's kind of got busier things to do,
I was
right?
gonna say don't cloud it, but
Not
you're
cloud it.
correct. He will not be here because of the way the schedule works.
Yeah, they got stuff cooking. Yeah, no, it's one of those things. I mean, obviously, that we could talk baseball all day too. That's another.
What if it was the Dodgers and the Diamondbacks, and like the schedule aligned where they were playing the Diamondbacks here?
Yeah, and all of a sudden he pops in and he's like, "What are you doing?" I'll just figure out bowl a squad before I got to go to the ballpark and take batting practice, right? Like that was.
Look, I would do that today.
He would totally do something like that too, right? Like
Come in, bowl a 9, and then go hit and play the game at 7.
Yeah, all of a sudden, guys are he's blowing up his phone, right? Freddie Freeman or Shohei's like, "Hey, dude, where you at?" "Oh, I'm bowling. I'm almost done."
And then they could have watched him on Bowl Street TV.
Facts.
Could have been all over the Dodgers.
Love it.
Clubhouse.
And then he gets international because then he goes to Japan. We got big things here.
I'm gonna put that into.
Big
we're
things.
speaking that into existence.
Absolutely.
Actually.
I like that. I like that for you. That's good.
All right, so this group on 7 and 8, they are wrapping it up. With that said,
Rain delay. I don't know what's going on. I think are we having issues with ball return or something? I don't know why they're so far behind. Everybody else is like 3rd frame. Yeah, 4th frame even down there. Got to be nicer to it at the bottom there, Wesley. He's trying to make it tip and do. There's a little extra oomph on that one at the bottom. Making sure it came around the corner.
let's take a look.
Pretty good pitch.
Going to see Brandon Matthews finish it out on this pair too, and he's had some good moments this block. Again, this pair is in game 6, so we'll make that graphic reflect. Shout out to the owner of Acclaim Garage Doors. I got Mike, and add in a little bit of a super chat, as he often does, and that is not doesn't go unnoticed, as he knows.
Chad down there with a 4-bagger. 5 and 6.
But that game started pretty okay for Zach Schroeder. That was his bowling ball you saw on lane 8. But since he's gone to, at least he tried reactive on that shot. But the last few frames have not gone very well for him, and he was in a good spot score-wise. Now he's going to give a ton of pins back. Meanwhile, Wesley Lowe.
Better shot from Wesley there. He got through that one and got it a little bit more end over end. The shot on the right lane, if he goes back to watch the video, you can see where he kind of caught a little bit more, and that's why he got off line faster and changed direction harder. Where that right there was a better pitch. Spare. I like it.
Also, folks, throughout the broadcast, as we are nearing the end, but really throughout the weekend, there are times where we kind of like to do a little bit of a Q&A with Schlemer.
Okay.
Right? And kind of like mid-block-ish, right? So not right out the gates. But once we hit our, the slower periods, if you will, we'll do a little Q&A with Schlemer.
It's hairspray or hair.
That is a good question.
Hairspray or wax in the back with the mullet, and then on top is the gel, right? Because it's 2 parts. It's 2 different things. For those that are curious about the hair tips, right? Like, that's just, even if you weren't asking, I'm just sharing. That's fine.
That routine, I would say, has to be. No one's cloning it, but it's important, right? People probably do want to know.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's a thing, right? Like, it's and again, everybody's hairstyle is different. And
are you still getting the WWE wrestling references in the airport?
I did get yesterday on the plane. I think I told you last night, right? The lady came up and she's walking by me and she tapped me on the shoulder. She's like, "Hey, by the way," she goes, "I love your hair." She goes, "I know she's sitting at the gate." She goes, "I do hair for a living." She goes, "It's pretty good stuff right there." And I said, "Thank you." So, yeah, it's one of those things. Like I tell people all the time, I'm getting older and I still have it all. So why not have fun with it? It's another way to express yourself.
That's a blessing.
And like I told the guy, another guy asked me on the train yesterday to the rental car place. I told him, I said, people stare at me anyway just due to my size and build. I said, so might as well give them something to stare about. And this other lady chimes in. She high-fived me. She goes, "Yeah, that's what's up. I like that." I go, "Yeah, so if you're going to look at me anyway, then might as well stare at something." But yeah, we got some solid games going down here. Down 17-18. Strike spare double. And yeah, like strike spare. Like I said, the clean games are cleaner. I shouldn't say fully clean games, but the cleaner games are happening.
Indeed.
Fill in more frames. It's just, again, that's part of the transition and part of the pattern stretching a little bit, blending out a little bit. And again, those guys, I mean, we're in game 6, and some that were urethane to start are still in urethane, and some made the move to reactive, and some started with reactive. There's, again, a pattern like this, there's no right or wrong way, right? Like, you just have to figure out how it's going to work for you. So
I'm so glad you said that, right? I'm gonna double down on that real quick. When we have events like this, where you have high-level tournaments that do feature multiple skill levels, we've got literally some of the best.
Yep.
College troop.
Simon will be here later on.
Going to be here.
Darren Tang's going to be here.
DT, right? Darren Tang's going to be here. You've got players who have dib and dabble on tour and bowl. Matt Zweig.
Yep.
Greg Thompson Jr. We've got major champions who don't bowl on tour. Brett Wolf.
Yep.
Right? And then you just keep going down that list. And so whenever I'm at an event like this, when I'm watching squads unfold, I always have to keep in mind, especially for players who who are of the upper echelons we were just talking about, like how they handle transition in the current moment based on what they would normally see at a tour event, which more than likely is just so different because of the varying styles, and people are going to do what they feel is best for them or what they know how to do. How does one navigate that portion of it, especially if you are of a player who, you know a thing or two about bowling, right? And you're anticipating certain things to happen, but maybe they don't because you're bowling with players that you would normally bowl.
And I know you doubled down on it, and that's something, remind me or make a note. We'll talk to Kyle about that as well, right? Because it's something, once he moved to Louisville, that same kind of thing, right? He bowling on tour, and he texts me, he's like, hey, Shlum, this is already, last year, year before, and he's like, hey, Shlum, got a minute? I'm like, yeah, what's up? We start talking about it. He goes, man, I need help. I go, what's up? He goes, my bowling balls, I can't get it to do the right thing in the local events and doing all that stuff because the tour world is such a different animal. And again, you touch upon it with the upper echelon players. And even, like when Brett showed up out of nowhere and won the Masters with his trusty blue hammer, which I saw him post a picture the other day, right? It was one of those things that it just made total sense in the stadium, right? Like, and we knew that was always a thing at the bowling stadium in Reno. But the tour world, the thing is when you have the elite type player, there's going to be a deal where they break them down a certain way, right? And so in the factor, you just watch Wesley Lowe there, who bowled a little bit on tour. Now he's a tour rep for us, right? And he does coaching here locally, and so he works with all levels of players. When you have everybody working together to break a pattern down a certain way, that's when the scoring pace goes up. When you have an event like this, as you talked about, you've got all the different types and styles. Everybody's not using the same kind of thought process in a certain window to break them down a certain way to then, hey, we're all gonna grind together games 1 and 2. Then we're gonna open them up to where it's gonna be a score fest 3, 4, 5, 6. Because here we are in Game 6, and you got some people trying to do the same thing they did Game 1. You got some people that have already moved back and forth like 4 times in 6 games. Some people are moving back and forth every game. So I guess what I'm saying is you don't carve a pattern to a certain path, if you will. It just adds the transitions. And so then it turns into... And I've talked about this a lot in the past, too, with different levels of players. Then you have to navigate the traffic on your pair as well as what's there from the game before. And that's what, like, our tour reps, that's one thing that's really crucial on the tour these days. Wasn't so much, as I mentioned before, way back when Robert was the only big strap guy, there were certain players that would fry out when they had to follow Robert because his rev rate's so much, and depending on where he started, he would force a transition by himself ahead of where everybody else is, right? And now it's kind of become, and then it was when Belmo, even though Oscar was out there first, when Belmo came out and those guys, the two-handers, guys would be like, oh, hey, what two-handers started where? Because they knew if they say they started at 12, well, the two-handers aren't starting at 12, they're starting at 22. Well, then when the guys that throw a little bit straighter have to make a move, they don't make a move, they have to make a jump. Right. You got to go 2 zones. And I think that's what we're seeing here a little bit. Again, with the different skill sets, skill levels. But I think the general knowledge for all these folks, like you saw a couple of people try to oh, well, it's short. I'm going to try and get in and curve it from play 4th arrow. Yeah, that was a short-lived idea. There's nobody doing that right now, right? Everybody knows they have to be somewhere to the right. They just don't know maybe where or with what ball. But I think that is yeah. And so, like I said, then it turns into, okay, well, did you catch a pair? And even from the first go this morning, we saw Matt grinding on those urethane balls. He goes, I'm going to wall them up for the better bowlers.
Right.
I don't know. Did that work on this pair right here in front of us, 9 and 10? I don't think so.
I mean, you can make an argument maybe later, maybe games 4-ish.
Yeah.
3-4-ish maybe, specifically on 9 and 10. Yeah, we had some good scores, though, between 9 and probably 14 throughout the day.
Yeah.
Had some 220s, 235 was shot. Chad shot 235 and 11 and 12.
I'll throw another thing at you, right? Like the other weird thing, predominantly these pairs right here in front of the desk are ones that usually have more friction because they put open play bowlers. They always tend to put them right here in front of the desk so they can watch them, right? So you have these pairs right here, which is here at Kyrene, right here in front of the desk. People would go, oh, these pairs are going to hook more naturally because of they get more lane play on the daily than, say, 1 and 2 or like 39 and 40, which is the farthest point away from the front desk. So you got to throw in the variables of the lane surface and the amount of lines bowled on it, among other things. And then we get into, as we're watching here, the different players and how they're transitioning. And again, it's a matter of keeping it in play and keeping it end over end. Pretty good pitch there on lane 11. And yeah, things are, just kind of rolling along for some of them. And again, it's hard for us to base judgment or whatever. I think after we get through tonight, I think after having 2 squads of watching, we'll have a better view. It's too hard to speculate or assume, it's squad 1, day 1. Okay, well, then you factor in all the other variables that start adding up.
I tell you, though, I've covered enough of these types of events to where, you can catch some of, I won't call it lightning in a bottle, but if you do get enough good players, and we've got enough good players in this squad 1.
Oh, for sure.
To be able to put up a score, coming in from the same things you just said. Good players tend to play in the same areas of the lane, et cetera, and so forth.
And a funny story, I got a good story with that. And this dates back to, I'm trying to think. It had to be the early 2000s. And we were somewhere, obviously, on tour. But it was one of those deals where we had practice session. I want to say it was like Midwest or something. That's a pretty good pitch right there. We had a practice session.
It's a nice 216.
The PBA.
Alex. Was that Alex?
Right-handed global shirt.
Is it Lindahl?
I don't.
Come on.
Yep. Yeah.
Shout out to Alex.
It was funny. It was one of those things of the PBA, they, of course, building patterns, the whole deal. Well, first squad, guys are just all over, right? Like, kind of like this deal. It was one of those things where you had some guys playing 5, you had other guys playing like 15 to 10, you get other guys playing 20. Well, the scoring pace was terrible, right? So Kirk comes, he talks to me, Rick Benoit, and Chuck Gardner's like, hey, did you guys see something? We're like, what happened? Like, we had practice session, and we're like, honestly? Like, the three of us tour reps at the time, we looked at each other like, no, the guys didn't break them down the right way. And Kirk goes, because Kirk used to bowl on tour way back when, right? And he goes, so it's nothing we did or nothing happened in the machine? We're like, no, it was pretty close to what we practiced on yesterday. Like, it wasn't one of those things where, we had practice session and we came in, they were completely different. It was just the way the guys played them, right? Because they all had this perceived notion of what they saw. And literally, hardly any of us drilled bowling balls between sets. The guys came back in, and all, like I said, me, Benoit, and Chuck all had conversations with our staffers. We're like, hey, we need you guys to break them down better. Like, y'all need to play them this way, let them transition. So I don't even know that I drilled any bowling balls, right? In that night set, the scoring pace went up like 30 pins for the field. And Kurt comes to us afterwards. He goes, what did you guys do? We're like, we just talked to our bowlers. Like, said, hey, y'all work together. This is going to get better for everybody.
Right.
Like, literally, the pace went from like 210 to like 240. And it's like everybody went and practiced between squads. But it was purely just a matter of how they broke them down together. The guys with higher rates got closer to the straight guys. And so the transition just naturally, the lane pattern just naturally opened up left to right. And yeah, the scoring literally, and everybody's like, well, how'd that happen? We're like, you started 15 left of that this morning, and now all of a sudden you're playing 7. I don't know. What do you think happened?
That is one thing. A quick shout out to Eddie Joe Torres, my guy. Eddie, did I see you were bowling? Did I see that? I hope you are. Wesley though did shoot 201. Unfortunately, there, Brandon, again, who was on some some good stuff. It was a good run. Unfortunately, had one in the channel on the 10th, so that was an open frame. He got to 157. Down here, not a ton working in the way of which I think anybody would want to go.
Can we, if you get down to Zwig, can we see his
Where's he at?
scoreboard?
He's on 17.
He might be
He's on
19
18.
18.
Or,
Can
I'm
you
sorry,
see his
19 and
scoreboard?
20. Nah, from here, though, it does look like maybe 199 or 219.
That's he's putting up a big number.
Yeah, he's got a game.
Yep.
That looks like 250-ish type of game right there. 279 game.
279. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. See, so it's see, somebody's gonna be plus. Told you. I called it.
So did 88% of the Bowlstream TV chat this morning.
Thank you. See, I'm glad we're all on the same page here. Oh, that was for 279.
Yeah, he shot 279.
Oh, so that was still the deal. All right, sweet. That's gonna help. That's gonna help the scoreboard.
That's interesting because, if that's true, he was +1 after 5.
Okay, that's where he's at.
That's a
now-
solid +80 if that's what it is.
Man, I like my chances with that.
That's a solid +80.
Now,
76.
276. Okay,
So he's 77 over for the squad.
pretty solid. To I think that's done for a couple days, and maybe if again, like Carl mentioned, if he wants to bowl for the side action, right? But man, I think that's pretty safe to say that it's into the finals for Sunday.
Yeah, I bet he bowls at least once more.
Oh, for sure.
I
doubt he bowls today. I doubt he bowls this
I
afternoon.
don't think so.
He'll probably bowl supers tonight.
I think he said he was going to consider it based on how
today went.
Squad 1 went in regards to bowling at 2 today. But yeah, I don't think you want to bowl or feel you have to bowl at 2 o'clock.
Oh yeah, no, not with that.
We'll probably have him in, discuss that actually.
Absolutely.
He said he might stay. His sister is bowling.
Okay.
Leia is bowling at 2 p.m.
nice.
as well as her boyfriend Tyler. So he'll be
Sweet.
around.
Okay. Yeah, we'll definitely get him to pop in.
Alfonso finishing out. Kyrene Army. Is Kyrene repping a jersey with the Crepe Bar logo on it?
That is on
That's
the back
pretty
of her
dope.
jersey, right?
With crepes perhaps on the sleeve?
I don't know. So that pattern, I think when she walked by, it looks like bowling balls and bowling pins.
Okay.
But yeah, I saw that earlier on. I'm like, Crepe Bar, yeah, shout out. That's part of Jeff's posse, I guess. He's got, he's doing some great thing. And obviously what's wild is I've known him many, many years. As in, we were talking about it last night, actually, probably 30-something years, because he's from the same area. He's from the Granite City area.
Really?
Yeah. And
I
so
thought that.
when I met him, I was in my pro shop days back then, and he, at the time, was getting into bowling. He got into bowling and was working with Michelle Mullen.
Great
Shout out
coach,
to Michelle back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Great
anyway,
bowler.
yeah, that's what.
Great bowler.
So anyway, we were talking last night, and he was explaining to his girlfriend, like, yeah, I've known Schlemer, and she's like, oh, and she looked at me, she goes, oh my gosh, that's a long time. I go, yeah. Most people, and I, kind of lost track of him, but when I came 2 years ago and popped up, and Carl's like, yeah, Jeff says he knows you. And I'm like, man, the name sounds familiar. And then I saw him, I'm like, dude, what is up? I hadn't seen him in forever. So, yeah, it was pretty cool. But, yeah, he's doing great things at Crepe Bar. And then, yeah, he's getting the big new restaurant in Mesa.
Yep. I remember talking about that.
We'll get to talk to him. He said he's going to pop in probably tomorrow.
Good.
Maybe Saturday. But we'll get him in the booth. We'll get him chatting and, want to hear his story. Like we were comparing, he was telling stories about me, and I get to tell stories about him and his girlfriend. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is really cool. Yeah. So, yeah, again, that's what happens when you get, as what did we say earlier, experienced, when you're hashtag old. Yeah, we'll go with that. Catches the key crossover there. Yeah, again, grinding out. We're still shooting some 180s, 190s, 2.0s. Yeah, then catch a struggle. This, 7 and 8 was scoring pretty well earlier on, but again, that's that game right there. This last game, high game was 167. So I think I've mentioned it a few times, right? It goes back to damage control. It's getting faster with your moves. It's understanding your moves. It's knowing, like I said, are you staying in the same zone and changing balls, or is it a zone change Is it a zone change plus a ball change? We'll just see how the different people navigate it, and kind of. It's going to be fun to watch over the next few days. Because again, as we see different bowlers coming through, and again, lane traffic. And I noticed one thing I want to share too. And again, I'm sure there's people watching at home that are coming to bowl, and then we had quite a few people that are bowling. I think this next squad that were sitting back here watching, right? Mm-hmm. Are they taking notes enough to go, hey, I'm going to play them this way? And as we know, right, when you come in after, granted they weren't here for the very start, but they'll have a mindset of how they want to attack them to start their squad, which could be maybe they're a little bit more left to start. And then do they carve a spot differently in the pattern? It's going to be interesting to see how this all transpires moving forward, because each squad is going to have their own kind of mindset, not just, it's 35 feet, I got to play the gutter, right? Like, we'll just kind of see what's going on.
As we wrap up here, I do want to give you a couple of items for our 2 p.m. Again, 2 p.m. local, 4 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Eastern. That would be also 2 p.m. Pacific for those of you who are just west of us, where we are in
also known as the left coast,
Phoenix, or the left coast. Looks like as of this moment, according to tournamentbowl.com, there are 35 players scheduled for 2 p.m., which is a nice number.
Yep.
Some of those players, again, according to what I'm seeing here, Kyrene Acuff, good player on the PWBA
Bowls
tour.
on the tours.
Also local, also can play the gutter very well, so that would be something to keep in mind.
In her wheelhouse.
Absolutely. Josh Anthony, always seen, I think 2 years ago, I think you had a convo with Josh.
Mm-hmm.
Ended up, changing some surfaces or different bowling balls after a squad.
Yep. He
made a nice
I remember
run.
That. He goes, hey, can I pick your brain a little bit?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden went out and he's like, that was a lot easier. I said, yeah. Sometimes you just got to see it from a different perspective, right?
Joshua Burnett. Shout out to my guy Juan Keynes. Renee Keynes is bowling as well. And Juan, let me know if I said that correctly. Jason Cragen. Dylan Donahue looks like he is going to bowl again. Shane Gomez, Sean Grant, Michael Haugen Jr. Scheduled to bowl.
By the way, he's pretty good throwing it straight, too.
Leanne Hill, Alec Johnson, Matthew Jones. The Matt Jones, as we talked about.
AZ Matty.
Yes, the Arizona Matt is bowling.
Not Cali Matty.
Josh Kennedy, Brandon Cryer. Oh, Brandon can throw it. What did I just see, Brandon? I cannot remember. I'll figure it out. Kenneth Lang,
nice
Alex
game,
Lindahl, Buddy Lucas, Chad Lucci again, Tyler Milbrand, we just talked about. The Nosh Bushes, Jessica and Vincent. Jessica's been bowling really, really well, so she might carry that over here.
Oh, hope so.
Justin O'Donnell, Jason O, Alex Olson, Josh Perry, Daniel Quilt, David Richard, Maximum Bob. Robert Smith is going to be bowling.
He said he was going to bowl this afternoon.
My guy Chris Stewie Stewart is bowling. Justin Surratt, Mr. Troop.
21 and 22.
Oh, they are.
Yep.
Kyle Troop.
Into the 10th. Yep.
Kevin Wilson.
Pro with the fro is playing.
Havel Wright the third and Havel Wright Jr. bowling. They can play.
All right.
And
right
Leah Zweig.
All right now.
As previously mentioned. Are they in the 10th frame?
Yeah, it looks like it. Brett just threw his last shot there, it looks like. I can see my glasses are pretty good, but I can't see quite that far from this angle all the way down there.
Someone down there is finishing strong, though, with at least what looks to be a four-bagger.
Four-bagger into the 10th, yeah.
We got to get Jim. Let's see if JJ can get me to nice job to you, too.
The last 3 games I don't know about, but
the first 3 were fantastic. You bowling again?
Facts.
Okay, he's bowling tomorrow. Okay. That's Brandon Matthews we were talking about. And again, a lot of this, too, today.
That's a pretty
when
good
you
pitch.
bowl.
That's a 5-bagger.
So that's Schroeder. And that's huge for him because he shot like 150, 140 on 7 and 8 in Game 5.
Well, it looks like he's getting a good chunk of that back.
Yeah, that was very important for him. Because he had dropped all the way down to Well, now it's he shot 138 that game.
Oof. Well, he's getting part of that back. He's not getting all of it back, but trying to see. It's 160 something down there with, like I said, with the 5-bagger. one five-bagger into it. So it looks like he's playing it straighter. I can't tell. I'm guessing it might be a urethane type deal.
Yeah, we're giving you the radio call there.
Radio call from long distance.
Down on the 20s.
Up the gutter. Through the face. Trying to see what that is. Of course, they put the big stop sign up there. That doesn't help. It's already struggle enough to see from 1,000 feet away.
I'm gonna 217, 227 maybe.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe 220. Like I said, he got a little bit of a back, right? So that's definitely you feel better about yourself after bowl 130 and then you shoot 220, right? Like, yeah, you want to shoot 270, try and get it all back, but you can't. But just get a chunk of it back is good.
All right, so we've had folks come out and kind of get the fact-finding mission underway, right?
I like that fact-finding mission.
We found some things.
They were the crash test dummies for round one.
Some had some hard truths,
yeah. Ooh,
right?
Truth.
And some also figured out a way. Matt Zweig, for example, to put up a score that more than likely would be high enough, certainly to get him to the cashers round.
Yeah, for sure.
On day number 1, squad 1, which is fantastic.
And if you remember back, again, we weren't here last year, but the year before, Sorigliano did that same thing.
Oh yeah, great
Dave,
point.
First squad.
Yes, he did.
He snuck into the. He did the one and done, and
yes,
he's
did.
like, "Oh, hey, I'm here." Like,
yeah, he went
goes,
back to the pro shop.
I qualified Thursday morning. I'm like, "That's right.
Right.
All right, sweet."
Yeah, we did not see Dave. He was working in the pro shop here.
Yeah,
I wonder if he still does that. In fact,
he does. Oh, wait, well, we'll slide in there. Yeah.
So what else we have, Mr. Roto Schlemer here?
I think that's it, bro. I mean, we're through squad 1 of 1 down, and now there's 6 more to go, right? Like, so I think that's the part of what makes this event great, right? You have, as Carl mentioned earlier, you have multiple. It's not one of those things where you bowl an event, and sometimes even the ones that have like a 2, like you can re-enter for a second time, right? Like this is, man, there's gonna be probably some people that bowl 3 or 4 times, right?
Yep.
And to try and get their foot in the door and have the opportunity to try and bowl for the 10K on top, right? So yeah, I think it was, as you said, the fact-finding mission for some. Others probably sitting back, like I said, quite a few folks sitting back here taking notes, paying attention.
Scratching off a ball on the list.
Yeah, they're like, I really don't need that one. Or this one might be in play, but I need to change the surface. Or folks that are not here yet that are maybe they're flying in tomorrow or Saturday or
and a very
driving
nice,
in. Or
very nice group this morning watching for squad 1.
Oh, for sure.
Very appreciate it. And even those probably going to bowl, as you just said, also on their own fact-finding mission by watching, either at home, at work, preparing themselves to compete, and those who certainly just want to watch the tournament, which is very much appreciated.
Again, tell all your friends because we need to get we're trying to get to 10K.
10K subscribers here on Bowlstream TV this weekend. I came into we were at like 9850.
Oh, we got to get there.
So we
Come
should.
on.
I don't, but we don't want to. We definitely don't want to cloud it based on what I've been doing this week.
Tell all your friends we
today.
can make this happen.
This tournament wouldn't be possible without all of the people right now on the screen. So
absolutely,
I'm going to give them their due, and we'll do that one more time on the way out. But Team Agent Ong, my home group, Acclaim Garage Doors, Roto Grip, Schroeder Family Electric, Dude Wipes, Mark Powell, Bowlifi, Tyler Hemmings Media, Travel 24/7, Create Proof Print, Brightside Catering from Chef Adam Allison, East Valley Fans and Blinds, and Justin actually had a very good testimonial, which is cool. He just mentioned that he had actually had some fans and blinds from this company in his house.
Beautiful.
As he was watching bowling, which is always a business and or sponsor's dream.
That's all part of it, right? That's
fantastic.
Proof in the pudding right there, yeah.
TMH websites, Ramsey Auto Center, Spartan Family Plumbing, The Crate Bar, of course, Frigg and Jerk, O&B, Burke Brothers, Swift Home Inspection, Chuck's Painting, and, of course, B3 Performance. With that said, Schlemer and I will go grab some lunch and get ourselves prepared for the 2 p.m. Same thing with Carl and Theo. With that, we bid you adieu for now. Again, 2 hours. Squad 2 will be on the lanes and a couple of sweepers later tonight, and that will conclude day 1. But we are not done yet. We've got some really good bowlers set to bowl at 2 p.m., and we'll see Kyle Troop on the lanes for the first time here at the Agent Ong Open. We look forward to seeing you then. So for Carl Ong, the founder of the Agent Ong Open. Theo Duthe, our tournament director here. Chris Roto Schlem in the building. Roto Schlem is in the building, ladies and gentlemen. He will be here all week as well. My name is Emil Williams Jr. We say so long for now. Again, this has been a presentation of Squad 1. You watched it live and